Hey guys, what's up? Chris at Rockford Ordnance. How are you? Hope you guys are all doing good, that you can hear me. Uh, Sorry on the lighting conditions. I've been doing a lot of traveling and my lighting setup ended up God knows where. Anyhow, you'll just have to deal for tonight, but just makes me look like a devil, like you can't see my eyes. Look at that. Anyhow, I don't know. Maybe I can adjust my screen brightness. Maybe it's just on my end. Probably on your end too. There we go. That looks a bit better when I turn the brightness up. At least on my end. How are you guys doing? Let's see who's here. The world is all right. Goes in. Hi, Joe. How are you? Sure missed the show, Rock. Hope everyone's okay. Yes, everybody's fine. Just as usual, we're one family member short and just puts more on me. And before anybody asked, Father's Day was it was good, but it was tough, and then it was good, and then it was tough, and then it was good. That kind of thing. It's always going to be tough. That's just what it is. Uh, they're like your kids. You love them, and the next minute you want to, and you love them, and yeah, that's always there. Doesn't change. So it was good though. Lot going on, and while it doesn't directly revolve around firearms, it revolves around sort of my lifestyle, and I think it probably goes without saying that a lot of you in this community, in the firearms community, are also into, let's say, readiness or preparedness or prepping or whatever term you want to use. I don't consider myself a heavy duty prepper, but I'm ahead of the average person. Let's just say I'm nowhere near completely self-sufficient, anything like that, but I feel I'm fairly well prepared for anything that might hit, although I'm sure I'll find myself woefully inadequately prepared if and when something does happen. Um, but I try to think ahead and have things on hand and prepare essentially, and firearms being my main hobby, I'm woefully over prepared in that area and could probably spread the wealth around and move some assets and be completely prepared, but I like what I have, so why get rid of it? It's what you enjoy. That being said, that whole lifestyle, I think, firearms, hunting, shooting, competition, whatever the case may be, goes along with other hobbies. The people that do those type of hobbies like other adventurous hobbies, whether it's motorcycles or fast cars, cool trucks, hunting, fishing, outdoor stuff, maybe a little risk taking, what have you. And I've always enjoyed fishing my entire life. That came way before guns. I grew up every summer. We spent Wisconsin, Minnesota, the Canadian border, and fishing. In high school, I fished 365 days a year. I almost didn't graduate because I can't put it this way. I had detention after I graduated. Me and a gentleman I refer to as Scrod Lip, me and him would blow off class and we'd check out an entire year of Field and Stream or Outdoor Life and read it cover to cover. I read from 1954 to present. Back then was in the 80s. Read every issue of both magazines. And we fished every day for something. And it continued, and it still does. I just don't have the time I used to, but I do have a fishing boat on the lake, and it's old. It's 30 some years old. I've had it 27 years. It looks brand new. It's a Lumacraft. And I was getting boats ready to go in for the year. Got the pontoon in, was getting that ready. Had to put a radio on it because it had taken a dive, some fuses, make sure the lights were all good. The only thing I was going to replace, I've upgraded the fish finder, other electronics, and I was going to put a new trolling motor. It was good to go. I mean, it looked like the day it came off the showroom. So I go to buy the radio, and we're going to dinner, and there's a Lund boat dealer. And a neighbor had gotten a Lund, and I thought, oh man, that's a sharp boat. I'd like a deeper V for some bigger water, go walleye fishing on some bigger lakes. And they had a brand new one in the shrink wrap out front, had just been delivered. And I thought, man, if I'm there bright and early Monday morning, maybe I can grab it. Had a kicker motor, everything. So Monday morning comes and I'm there, and he says, nope, sorry, it's already pre-sold. Got anything else? Nope. Nothing at all? Nope, we're sold out. What if I order one? You'll see it this time next year. There are no boats. I said, you have nothing? He says, well, I got a used boat. I said, what is it? Nice new boat or newer boat, mint. But when he told me what it was, I said, no. I can't justify that. Can't in no way, shape, or form. These are $100,000 boats, brand new. I'm like, no, can't do it. Long story short, I end up buying the boat. And the old boat, I think the guy we got it from paid 10 grand new in 1990. 10 grand with accessories, tax, everything out the door. We bought it from him about 5 years later for $3,300. I sold it for $6 grand. I used it for 27 years and doubled my money. That's how crazy the markets are right now, okay? Now, granted, it was a very nice boat. Trailer, everything, mint. Trailer never went more than 4 blocks. Take it to the boat landing, dump it in for the summer, pull it out. So what did I buy? Well, kids are older. They like skiing, tubing. They can't do it behind the pontoon, even though it's got a 200 and some horse motor. It just doesn't do it. So I wanted to fish and ski. This brand, though, is known for fishing. If you guys know anything about fishing and fishing boats, all I got to do is say, what is the best fishing boat in the business? Period. It's real easy. Probably 5 of you will chime in and say what it is here, or what you think is the best one. Somebody throw it up there. If you guys miss this, I'll be shocked. It's the best fishing boat around. Let's say inland lakes, everything from bass. They probably started as bass boats, but they've progressed deeper. These walleye boats, multi-species. Anyways, fish and ski, it's probably 70% fishing, 30% ski. No, Chris Craft is probably more pleasure boating. Lund is a great boat, and that's what I wanted, but they didn't have it. Those are expensive too. They're in the 30-40 range. Nitro, great boat. Sister company of the one I'm talking about. A friend of mine just bought a brand new Nitro. Expensive boat too. But here's what it is, guys. I'm going to show you. Ranger. There is no better boat, period. They're the best built. I didn't pay $100,000. There was a lot of money, but it was nowhere near that. But so yeah, ended up with that. And then Malibu's a ski boat, or a wakeboard boat. But anyhow, ended up with that. It's gorgeous. It's got the metal flake and all of that, and the seats. And the cool thing is, it goes from fishing boat with the casting platforms and the seats and the trolling motor. It's got a fish finder up front. It's got a HD sonar in back. I can make out what type of fish it is, whether it's a bass or a muskie. I can, if there's a sunken boat or something, I can see the complete outline. It's like the ultrasound they do for babies, but times 1,000, like completely modernized. You can see everything. You can see the fish swimming. You can see it come up and hit the lure, the whole 9 yards. It's made by Garmin. It's got maps of every, even on land. You can put it on take it from the boat to your snowmobile, to your ATV, whatever. Pretty cool. Aligns with like 92 million satellites, 9 at a crack. When I had it running, there were 9 running. Hi, Lex. Did you come to visit me? My English Mastiff. Come here, Lex. Come here. You want to say hi? Lex. Come here. Come here. Come here. No? Okay. Be like that. She's scared. There's something laying on the ground here. Pew-pew on the ground, and she don't want to step over it. But anyhow, so yeah, got it. Took delivery. They do an on-water thing with you, and took delivery on a rainy morning in the rain. And come here. Come here. Say hi. Say hi, you big moose. That's Lexi. Uh-oh. And there's her boyfriend, the midget. There she is. They're quite a pair. I got the biggest and the smallest. Anyhow, you can sit here on my lap. Is that it? Okay. My leg will go to sleep. Got it back. And the cool thing is it can go for fishing boat with the 2 casting platforms, trolling motor, all the depth finders, live well, all of that. And in about 3 minutes, you can pull the seats, quick release on the trolling motor. Pads go up front. Part of the front casting platform goes away, so it's an open bow. Sun pads on the back. Tow pylon for skiing, and it's a complete pleasure boat, and it looks just badass. It looks like a rocket ship. The engine is taller than me. 225 horse. Mercury, Verado, incredible. I feel this clunk. I go, what was that? It sounded like you're going into gear. He goes, I put it in gear. I said, it's running? He says, oh yeah, it's been running. You gotta be kidding me. You hammer this thing and it just comes out, sits, and gone. It's like the Millennium Falcon jumping to light speed. It's unbelievable. It really is. Down to the trailer, it like launches itself. It's crazy. So messing with that, I get it to the dock and it doesn't fit in my boat lift. It's too wide. New boat lifts are 15 grand. Yeah, that's not in the budget. So I'll be putting it in and out this year, leave it at the pier for a few days, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to have to sell the old one, find a used one like I did. I went without a boat lift for that boat for years, and just recently found one for $500 the guy was getting rid of, and I got it. So it was nice to have it for a couple of years, and now I'm without one again. So I'll find another deal, and that'll be that. But it goes along with that, the whole lifestyle, right? Fishing and all that. I really enjoy it. And went out real quick. I caught the biggest crappie of my life. The thing was like dinner plate size and fat. Caught some smallmouth, no walleyes, but we were just goofing around real quick. And okay, God, you got bad breath, dog. Jesus. When a mastiff has bad breath, guys, you have bad breath. Anyhow, look at this guy. He's sitting over here like, yeah, I'm hanging. I'm with the Kalash crew over here. I got to get him a little vest, a little plate carrier. And it goes along with the whole lifestyle, you know. And fishing's part of it. So Father's Day, went out with the family and all, had a good time. Just been taking care of so much stuff. And last week, just work had switched up my day off and everything. So things were a little mess. I'm sorry about last week, but got to go to a gun show last weekend too. Friday was the preview night. So we went to that, which is cool. When you get to a gun show, if it's a weekend, good, lay down. When you get to a weekend gun show, you want to be there for preview night because that's where all the good stuff is. By the time you get there, if you get there at 10 or 11 on a Saturday, half the good stuff's gone. So I wanted to go through the gun show. I hadn't been to one in a long, long time and want to tell you guys about it. What I saw, was it any good? I mean, most people report lately they go to a gun show and it's all about jerky and underwear and tube socks, you know. So yeah, Mastiffs are the best. Had I known how good they were, I would have had them all my life. She's 10 going on 11. She lost a tooth last night. She's getting up there. So I don't know how much longer she'll be around, but she is my best buddy and just so sweet. She's just laying at my feet right now. She's laying on my feet and my legs, and I'd have to put a mirror under her nose to make sure she's breathing. But just the coolest dogs. They don't make a mess unless you get one that drools, but she's a good girl. I'll get another one for sure. Gun show was cool, really cool. There wasn't much other stuff there. None of the usual stuff people complain about. It was a small show at a local fairground that I've been going to for quite a few years. Anyways, we went And I like to work from the end, each row, see everything, you know. So we went in, and it was a little pricey to get in. Trying to think how many, it was $8, I think. Not that that's a lot of money, but pricey. It was $8 for the day or $10 for the weekend if you wanted to go all 3 days. So I start going down the rows, and there's a lot of reloading stuff. There were some primers, small rifle, large rifle. Some of the tables I saw were over $100 a brick, $1,000, which is high. I mean, I've been finding them $80 to $90 $1,000 at normal stores and stuff. So that was kind of high. There was some brass and bullets. Not too bad on that stuff. A lot of used reloading equipment I looked through, a lot of dies, nothing I could use. And the guns seem to be kind of overpriced, or not overpriced, but what I could get at the store, basically. A couple new gun dealers there. Few guys with, tables of their own stuff, whatever. But I get to this one table, and he's got a lot of mags. He had some AK stuff and some different parts. He had like a short Uzi barrel and different pre-band parts that I used to see a lot of, back in the day, like in the 80s, going to gun shows with my dad, or stuff my dad had, and I start noticing all kinds of HK stuff. So I asked the guy about these mags. I said, "Are those German?" And I said, "What about that stock there?" He had a stock, an MP5 stock, and it fit a couple other rifles, whatever. I asked him about it. He says, "Wow," he goes, "so refreshing. You're the first guy that actually knows what this stuff is." He goes, "Everybody else is asking me these retarded questions, And he says, "You interested in the stock?" I said, "No, I just wanted to know if that's fit." I said, "I got that, but that would be a no-no for me to even have it in my possession, So, "Oh, you bought one of the new pistols?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea." Anyhow, I get to talking, and his dad, who is either, it wasn't clear, either passed away or maybe not able to be there, let's say, was the largest HK dealer in the state of Wisconsin. And even back in the day, that's a bit, HKs have never been cheap, guys. But he was telling me stories of all the cool stuff his dad used to get. And he said, I literally, by this time we're on a first name basis. And he said, I literally have storage lockers full. This is 1/4 of one of them, what I pulled out today. And I'm just going to keep getting rid of it. I said, well, I need your card. Because he had some really cool stuff, all different stuff. And I bought a few things. And one of them, because I'm getting that MP5 kind of set up, right? And I know Tommy will be in here. He keeps biting. Did you get the brace yet? Did you get the brace? Yes, I got the brace. It should be here. I got the order confirmation. I have not gotten a shipping notification yet, which is kind of weird. Got it from HK Parts. So he had these mags. He said, let me take a look. He says, yep, they're German. And I hadn't done all that much research, so I didn't know. But you got a hell of a deal. Are you going? Go on. Time to leave, dog. Go. Go on. All right, go. Go. Go, my mom. So I see this, and I've seen these somewhere else. I don't know if they offered them as part of a package back in the day or even recently, but it's a mag assault pack. It hangs over your belt, straps around your leg in 2 spots, and holds 3 mags. And these are German date-coated mags. It's pretty cool. You just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And there's your 3 mags. And these were brand new, still had grease or Cosmoline or something on them. Never inserted. and they're all date coded. One's a G. It's their IHIG, I think, and IK, whatever. I forget what years those are. But German mags, parked, the metal followers. Early straight mags had plastic followers, and the earlier mags before the date-coded mags had plastic followers too, but then the later ones had the metal. So these are real German mags, unused. I've been seeing them like $80, $90 on up from different sellers if you can find them. So I got all three and the assault pack for the low everyday price of $125. Not bad. That if that was all I got, that would have been a good day at the gun show, right? Because I could probably sell this if I so chose for easily 240, let's say 260. I could easily make about 135, 140 bucks on it. But it works so slick. If you put it on your left thigh and belt, it's on your leg, strapped tight, doesn't move. It's the perfect size. You can reach right there, grab them in. It's awesome. It's awesome. Best way to carry mags, period. It's really cool. I don't know who made the carrier. I don't think it's Swiss. I think it's Galco, maybe somebody. I don't know if they had a contract with them or if it was just some aftermarket thing. But really cool. So got the brace coming. I kicked around. There was the Safety Harbor brace. If any of you are looking for MP5 stuff or one of the clones, there's a bunch of braces out, right? And can do the B&T. Those run anywhere from $800 to $1,300, $1,400. It's crazy, right? I was real happy with the Pdw brace from SB Tactical on my Scorpion. They make one for the MP5, and I thought, well, that's a good way to go. I really wanted the one that they make. That there's two, and one is made, I believe, by Gearhead Works and uses their Mod 1 brace on it. But those you can't find. They're sold out everywhere and have been. I'm on all kinds of notification lists. Secondly was the Safety Harbor. It's a little different, but it uses the Gearhead Works brace too. By the time you're done, you'd be almost $400. And I kicked it around, and we've had a lot of expenses lately, and I went with the SB Tactical Pdw brace. So that should be here any day. And I'm excited. I like the brace. Works well. Got the mag kit, so now I've got 5 mags for it. I'm going to get the original HK optic mount for it, the rail. That's a little pricey, but I feel because of the way that's manufactured and all, and the way it clamps, I think the HK is the best way to go. It's got a logo, and it leaves something exposed on it. I can't remember right now, but works extremely well. And I'm going to put a red dot on it of some sort. I don't know that I want to do my usual Holosun on it, although I might. I kind of want to go smaller on it. I might do the smaller Holosun. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe a Trigicon, something larger, little bit bigger glass than a micro, but I don't know yet. But definitely a red dot, and yeah, it'll be cool. Maybe something out of Primary Arms. I like that, and man, it'll be cool. I like it. So we're almost done, and we'll be bringing you some cool videos. You guys got to be dying for some videos, huh? I got that one out. I've done one video in like 2 months, guys. It's terrible. It's just terrible. And I shoot all this footage, and it's like none of it coalesces into something I can turn into a video. I don't know. even the last video was just, 223 day, me shooting a bunch of different rifles. And while, okay, it's cool. How much of that can you watch? I'm talk a little bit about each one, but I like to do in-depth stuff. And there's just not a lot of new stuff out there. And I'm not spending a lot of money like I was. So we're going to have to dig back in and go through some stuff and some accessories, maybe things like that, optics. I don't know. She's freeing me up tomorrow for once, so I can get to the range tomorrow, have a little fun, and we'll come up with something. I know I promised you a video last week and or 2 weeks ago and nothing, and last week didn't even do the live stream. Our internet was down up here. It went out. Actually, we had a tree come down. It was blocking the satellite and all kinds of stuff. Things are a mess in the spring up here, and spring comes much later than down south. When you guys are mowing your lawn for the 6th or 7th or 8th time, we're barely getting it mowed the first time. That's how much different it is. So we're up north, way up north. And then with spring comes all the cleanup and staining decks and boats and piers and everything. So it's a lot of work for a short season, and is what it is. But I love doing these live streams with you and kind of bringing with it everything that comes with it. So on with the gun show. So got those mags, and the black powder guy was there. And it's hard to find black powder today, real black powder. Can find the substitutes and all, but try finding real 4F for your pan if you shoot a flintlock or something. And if you go to any of, like I went to that black powder shoot I did, they were all like, you need to be shooting black powder, not this stuff. And they were incredulous that I was shooting real black powder 4F out of the pan and Pirate X out of the gun. And I've read that they think that's like a no-no, but in reality, it's not. It doesn't matter. It works just fine. It works really good, actually. But he was there. I talked to him. Really didn't need much, so I didn't get anything. But a lot of ammo, old ammo, collectible ammo, any of the Martinko yellow box ammo, $15 a box. That's cheap because that stuff's damn near collectible. Like the green box is, yellow is too. It's copper washed yellow box Martinko. I've got some crates of it, but the individual boxes, years ago were already going $20 a box, and so that was a deal. I almost picked some up, but I thought, I got it when it was 50 cents a box, and all kinds of decent stuff. Some. I saw a nice Enfield. I saw a Mosin Nagant 9130, nothing special. And it was $500 and something. Nice gun, but nothing special. I can't believe they bring $500. Are you guys seeing those kind of prices on Mosins? You see a nice, solid gun, and you young guys say, oh, they're all numbers matching. Newsflash, they're all numbers matching. They force matched them, guys, on the re-arsenal. I get a kick out of it. Now I know I'm officially the old guy because I was there for them all. And today a guy will grab one off. Look, it's all numbers matching. They all were. They all were. If they didn't match, stamped, because hardly any of them did. They did what our guys did, threw all the parts in a pot and picked one out and put their gun back together after cleaning it, But if they didn't match, they either force matched it through stamping or through electropenciling. And they'd grind off the old numbers. So yeah, they all match. But if you start looking closer, even at those number matching guns, you'll see the force match either by stamping or electropencil, or even let's say they're all stamped and maybe you can't see the grind marks for some reason. You will start to notice that a barrel band on an Ishev's will have a Tula barrel band, stuff like that. Or you'll see maybe a floor plate that's got the right number, but it's an Izzy on a Tula, something like that. So no, none of them are numbers matching unless I even bring back. They're not going to be numbers matching. They've all been re-arsenaled at least once between World War II and even when the Russians gave them to Vietnam. Those guns were used a lot in Vietnam, guys. You know where else you see a ton of them? Alaska. And you saw them pre the big importation rush 15 years ago on them. They made their way to Russia across the Bering, or to Alaska from Russia across the Bering Straits. You'll see a lot of Eskimos and native people up in Alaska that do all their hunting with Mosin Nagants. They're shooting either standard 9130s. You'll see some carbines. Maybe they've been sporterized or cut down a hair, but most are just regular old guns, and they shoot everything from polar bears to caribou to seals to you name it with them. Watch, it's not Mountain Men, it's Life Below Zero. And they show that one couple, she's native, and she does all her hunting with a Mosin Nagant. And they didn't get them through local gun shops. Those guns are prolific up there with the native population. You know, they're very nomadic still to this day, whether it be for seasonally, whether they're following game or fishing, and they run into Russians and they trade them, and you know, business with those people. It's not a far stretch. When the governor up there said she could see Russia from her back porch, probably can't. It's right across the straits. Those guns have been up there for a long time. They had them long before we did down in the lower 48. But are you guys seeing them for that kind of money? 500 for a regular one? I thought maybe an ex-sniper or, you know, a octagon barrel. You know, I pretty much avoided all the octagon barrels and stuff. I could have bought tons and tons, and I didn't buy them. I have a couple examples, but I passed them up usually. There were other things I was looking for, but looking back, oh my God, I got a ton of them. I told you guys I got stuff new. I've never taken out of the box. It's going to be like Christmas morning when I open them. Ooh, what do we have here? I know they're good though, because I hand-picked each one. I just don't remember what I picked back then. But yeah, just a little tip to throw in here. If you go to a gun shop and you want a Mosin Nagant because you want an example for your World War II collection or your Russian collection or whatever, none of them are truly numbers matching. Sure, they came out of their re-arsenal numbers match, but it was force matched. You won't find one. And how would you verify it even if you did? You know, I don't know. But they're nice guns. We commonly and lovingly refer to them, as James says, the shit stick. That's what we call them. They truly are. You don't recall, especially when you haven't shot one in a while, like I haven't. You don't quite remember just how truly crude they are. I'll do a video on one and show you guys the trigger. It's great and wonderful in its simplicity, but especially late examples, late in the war, 44, 45, those guns, they were churning them out so fast, they never did the finish milling. So you'll have a barrel and you just see the tool marks all the way down. They ran them through and threw them in a stock and shoved them out the door and off to the battlefield, you know, as fast as they could. Nothing like the early Imperial versions and stuff like that, where they were really nice, the original bluing and everything. When they re-arsenaled them, they blued them, but it was a quick, I should say, blackened them, you know. You don't find, the re-arsenal guns aren't as pretty as some you may see that made their way over here either before the war or more to World War I or something like that. But they're so simple. The trigger's got a spring and the trigger and the sear, and they're ground rough. They're not smooth. They're heavy pull. The bolts are, floppy and grindy. And most guys, because they haven't cleaned them well enough, they stick like crazy. I've seen guys at the range literally with a mallet pounding them open, pounding them shut. And I'll watch them and kind of giggle a little bit because I was there. I'm not laughing at them. I'm just laughing at remembering me doing the same thing back in the day. And sorry, the dog's crying for mom over here. It's not the ammunition. It's not the headspace. It's not the chamber. Well, it is the chamber. They've cleaned them. They haven't cleaned them well enough. They may get the cosmoline off. They may scrub the bore. And they look down it and they go, oh, yeah, half sewer pipe. Great, awesome. Clean Drano sewer pipe, whatever. You can clean those guns and clean them and clean them and clean them again. And like I talked about the last time with the copper fouling versus carbon fouling, you could work on those things for 3 months straight every day, and you'll still get dirty patches out of them. It takes a lot of work. And then there's the chamber. If that chamber is dirty, gunked up, shellacked, whatever's in there, that's when it sticks. Guys will blame it on lacquer-coated ammo. It's not the lacquer, although in that particular case, it does lend itself to helping make it stick. You need to get a chamber brush and just scrub the hell out of it till you see shiny metal, because they're just gunked up, even the re-arsenaled ones. The best thing to do would be to get an ultrasonic or one of the ones that you use the negative positive leads on, like electrolysis, whatever, and clean them that way. That's the only true way to really get everything out on them. And not all of them are like that, but a lot are. And if there's a decent, even small amount of shellacked on crap in that chamber, those rounds are going to stick every time. And once you get it clean, you will be amazed. You'll be like, wow, this is like a Remington 700 action. Okay, not really, but it's that much better. Sights are the sights. They're adjustable. They're a ramp sight. They shoot well. If you're going to buy one, here's another tip. Make sure, try and not buy a gun that's counterbored. If you don't know what counterboring is, if the guns were let's say most of them are fairly worn. Maybe you find a bunch with sharp rifling, but there's a lot of barrels that are still serviceable but well worn. But any that had any muzzle damage or crown damage, they would counterbore. And all that is they bore larger, anywhere from the first half inch to maybe an inch of the rifling inside the barrel. They literally mill it out, redo the crown, and it's gone. But you don't need the rifling to go all the way to the end of the barrel for the gun to be accurate. That essentially reaccurizes the gun. If there was a lot of muzzle wear or crown damage or something, it gives you a new fresh start or fresh end to the rifling and fixes up the crown nice and smooth, and you're good to go. But if you can avoid it and find one that hasn't been counterbored, obviously you'd want it that way. The easy way to test is the bullet test. Drop a bullet in, nose first, and if it eats that bullet up to the brass or more, down to the neck sometimes, or part of the neck of the case even, it's been counterbored. That bullet should meet the ogive. The ogive should meet the barrel, and the whole bullet should not sink into that tip of the barrel. I don't recommend walking into a gun shop with a live round in your hand, grabbing a rifle from them, and all of a sudden pulling a bullet out, and haha, they don't know what you're doing. They don't know what you are about to do. Are you going to load the gun and cock one in and take somebody out? They don't know. So be very careful. 99.9% of people working in gun shops are armed and are today's day and age probably, well, I know a lot of them. They are on edge. People walk in that are not the most wholesome looking, let's say, and they're on guard. Bad things happen. So don't be that guy that adds to the stress. Maybe you got one in your pocket. That's fine. Explain to them what you'd like to do and that you brought around with. I left to tell them I left it in my pocket. I didn't want to freak anybody out. Maybe you have some ammo behind the counter. You could open the box, sir, and try. Maybe they go that route. Maybe he says, yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Or maybe he says, let me do it. But do that. Be very conscientious. You don't need to freak anybody out. So, yeah, $500 Mosins. The Enfield didn't seem bad. It was for something. I don't know a lot about Enfields. It's a gun I would like to add to the collection. I've never shot one. I like the looks of them. I like the magazine on them. I think it's a cool gun. I almost had one that was still packed in the brown paper. It was a gun broker auction, and I was going to buy it, and they call them a mummy Enfield. They're still wrapped up like the day they were made, wartime dates, everything. And from what I've seen, everyone that's come out of that paper is mint perfection, the wood, everything. And a lot of guys leave them in the wrap, never take them out because they're worth a lot more money, I guess, that way. But I wouldn't care. I'd unwrap it. I'd do an unveiling on YouTube, and I'd shoot it. I really would. What's the difference? It's, to me, I don't have a single gun. Well, I have one. I have one gun that will never be shot, but and has not. And I wish I could, but I just can't. I can tell you guys about it if you want to hear about it. But yeah, that Enfield would be cool. So there were some okay pricing on other stuff. I saw a Colt King Cobra and a couple others in the series. I saw a Browning high power with the beautiful bluing and all. And it was going for $1,300 or $1,400. And I'm pretty sure that's like a $1,600 gun. A little older, you know, when they still had the gorgeous bluing and a real high power, not that new FN thing. That's a hybrid. That's not a true high power in my book. I don't know. I like it. I wouldn't mind having one. I've been looking for one. I haven't seen one in person. The FN had a problem with them when they first came out and screwed up their launch. And while I think they're out there, I have not seen one in the wild. But, you know, it's dull bluing. It's not that super high polished, blue hued, gorgeous stuff Browning did, or the Belgian ones had. But this Browning interested me. If I had the extra cash rolling around, I might have pulled the trigger on that one. I had a funny experience, and I've had an experience with this guy before. I've seen him there. This guy sells mags, okay? And he's got them for everything from Glocks and 1911s, set me mags, AR mags, AK mags, whatever. And I remember particularly this maybe 2 or 3 shows ago, 3 or 4 years ago, at the same show. I asked him, he had some AK mags, and I picked it up, and I'm looking at it, and it was a Yugo bolt hold open mag in fair to good condition, okay? Nothing special. But it wasn't redone. It had the original deep, rich bluing that they had. They don't have it anymore, but I knew what it was right away. At the time, that's all I was buying. And the guy, I didn't ask for his help. He was down a ways. He yells down at me, "Hey, you know what that is?" I said, "Yeah, I do." That's a Romanian bolt hold open. Really? Okay. So worth a lot of money. They bring more money than all those other ones there. Really? What are you asking for? I got to have at least $60. I think at the time I was buying them for $10 maybe. And I said, well, I don't mean to correct you, but I know a little bit about this. And these are Yugoslavian bolt hold open mags. I said, the Romanians never made a bolt hold open mag. And I picked one up. I said, this is a Romanian mag. You trying to tell me that I'm wrong? Well, I'm not trying to tell you anything, but yeah, you are. It's Yugoslavian. I promise you. Wouldn't steer you wrong. You know what? You can't buy that mag for all the tea in China. I said, well, I wasn't planning on it. I handed it back to him. I walked away. So forgetting about that, I had forgotten about it the other day. I asked him, I said, you got any MP5 mags? He says, you don't see any there, do you? I said, well, I looked real quick. I didn't. I thought maybe you got some. He says, nah, that's a new gun. I don't have any of that new stuff. What do you think of that one? This is a guy in his 60s. Wow. So I thought maybe the Yugo thing was a fluke. No, he's a full-fledged doucher. Yep. So yeah, now he's the mag douche guy. That's who he is in my book. That's how we refer to him now. Genius, huh? All right, let's get to the comments. We're only 45 minutes into this, and I haven't touched a comment yet, other than say hi to Joe. Sure missed the show, Rock. Hope everyone's okay. Yes, we're doing good. As best as I can be. The Rock Live, boy, Pike Possum. What's going on, man? Hope you guys that are saying hi to you are still in here. I'm sorry I didn't do it earlier. True American Loretta, good to have you. Thanks to Joe who introduced her to the channel. She's here almost every week. Chase Kelly is in the house. Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're glad to see us. Oh, I'm glad to hear your dad's doing better, Joe. That's awesome. Let's see. Chase, it's okay. Healing, okay. Black-eyed devil, yeah, that's me. That's the girls used to call me. Green-eyed devil, right? Yeah. Right, green? I don't know. Save the Bees is here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. MZ, sorry, I almost missed you there. Squeaky Cooler, how are you? He says, son of a bitch, I just got the notification you're on, Rock. Definitely don't want to miss a third week in a row. You didn't miss nothing last week. I missed you guys. I stood you up, man. I didn't show up. We had internet problems last week. Let's see. Who else? Chase guessed, when I was talking about the boat, he guessed Lund. That's a good guess because it's a fishing boat. And that's what I was going to buy, actually. They're a good boat. Pricey, but I figured I've had this boat for about 25 years or so. Looks like the day it was made. It's always stored in the garage or under a lift, cover, everything. It looks like the day it was made. That guy got a good deal, even though he paid me double what I paid for it 25 years ago. Oh, God, that was one of the best deals I ever made in my life. Malibu, great ski boat, expensive. All those ski boats you see, guys, dig this. I know boats were expensive. I've had big cabin cruisers on Lake Michigan, all kinds of stuff, bunch of boats. And back then, I had a Sea Ray, another one of the best boats you can buy. And it was nowhere near. Today, to replace that boat is probably $800,000 to $1 million. I can't afford to buy the boats I used to have. The prices have gone up exponentially. Not just recently because of inflation, but over the last 20 years. I don't know how they can justify that amount of money for a bunch of fiberglass and stinky epoxy laid in a mold, clamped together, and some cheap upholstery and crap thrown in. Sure, you got a powertrain and electronics, but I mean, come on. What can it be worth? I don't know. Let's see. Squeaky couldn't type fast enough. So you knew Ranger Squeak? Chase says, "Ooh, no way. I almost got a Ranger Rock, but got a better setup I wanted for way less with a StarCraft 2 months ago." StarCraft's a good boat too, man. They're right in there with the Illumicraft, the StarCraft, the Lund. What's the other good aluminum one? There's one other one. There's a cheaper one, Princecraft, a few others. They're all good, those aluminum boats. And when you guys that don't fish are thinking, you're thinking a rowboat, no, these are, yeah, sure, the hull may look like a rowboat, but there's an inner layer carpeted, the platforms. They're like bass boat, fishing boats, deeper V's usually. Usually used more up north, maybe, or for bigger water. Guide boats, walleye boats, muskie boats, that kind of stuff. Most bass boats are sit very low in the water, and the hull's not very deep. They don't draft a lot of water. They can be wider and pretty stable, but in rough water, you'll submarine the front. You'll be, in and out. So this boat, I had it up to about 60 miles an hour. And let me tell you something. That is fast, guys, on water. And I got that thing up, and we're not on that big a lake. This is a lot of motor for that lake. I think it took me, it's too hard to explain, but let's put it this way. I got across the lake in short order, like seconds. I kept trimming it up till there was about that much of the hull in the water and the prop, and just ripping with, rooster tail flying and everything. And our lake is calm. It's a 400-acre lake, which isn't big. And even just a little of this, it got scary. I had my daughter and son-in-law on the cell phone, and they knew that I was getting a little worried because they saw the phone go down here when I grabbed the wheel. I needed two hands and brace myself in because it starts getting a little creepy up there with even a little bit of whatever. But even bigger waves, though, if you hit them in sets, it's just skimming the top. You don't even feel them. But on bigger water with even a foot or two, and this is a pretty, it's not a deep V, but it's a nice V hull. And you get in a foot or two of waves, and man, it's pounding you, and you're bam, bam. It's, it's 21, almost 22 feet, that's a big fishing boat. Let me tell you, it's a big ski boat for that matter. And you think it would handle rough water well, but I'm still working on how the boat's running and where the water's kicking up next to the boat, either behind you, even with you, or in front of you, how you're trimmed and where it should be trimmed. And by trim, it means how far you lift the motor up. So there's the prop down here. You're lifting that prop. When you come out of the water, the engine's all the way down. So the prop's pointed down kind of into the water, or at least on a little bit of an angle. And that launches you up and up out of the water. Here, I'll do the boat, forget the motor. It launches you up, and you don't want to be nose up too long, because if I trim that motor way up, I could put that nose almost standing up like this, right? Well, you can't see anything. You're looking at the bottom of the boat. Not too safe. But it'll come up and then up on top of the water, which is called on plane, and then the more you trim that motor up as you're going faster and faster, the less of that boat's in the water and the faster you're going. When you trim that boat at mid speed, you'll jump 10 miles an hour like now, I mean, boom. And it's not just the engine cavitating, which is another subject, but some of you guys, I'm sure, understand it. Cavitation's where you get the motor too high and it sucks air, kind of like a blender does, and you're not propelling the boat anymore. You're just spinning air. You're not pushing water. And that can happen if you trim it too high. And you can screw up a motor, over rev it, different stuff, but or hit a corner and it'll cavitate, and that kind of thing. But yeah, this boat will go. If I trim that weight down and aerodynamically, it's got a pretty big windshield. which most faster boats and bass boats and stuff don't have. Maybe a little bubble windshield for the driver at best, but this is a walk-through windshield. But if I take out the fishing seats, trolling motor off the front, skinny it down a bit, just me in the boat, I'll bet I hit 65 on this thing. I'm thinking somewhere around there. Maybe, I don't know, I had it at 60, but yeah, also boat speedometers are notoriously wrong. I've been in my old boat, I could be doing 40 and it's reading 0, you know, and something catches on it, plugs it, does this, does that. Nowadays, you've got on the GPS readout, you've got GPS miles per hour. It's tracking you by satellite. So you get a much truer reading, but even that can be off a little bit because of satellite delay or whatever, I'm sure, especially that far north. I don't know. But yeah, put it this way. It's a going boat. Has to run a stainless steel prop, a 4-blade, because in aluminum, the torque is so great, it would just, I don't know what you'd call it, shear it, I guess, the inner hub at least. And props are expensive, man. Expensive when it comes to stainless. But this motor is massive. It's a 6-cylinder supercharged engine. And wow, it's just, I'm impressed. And there's not much with a motor that I haven't driven or ridden or whatever. And not a lot of it truly impresses me. But this thing does. I haven't had a fast boat. Last one I had was a ski boat I bought. Well, it was a ski boat. It was kind of like it was a speedboat, 70s, 80s, meant to go fast, super loaded water, closed bow kind of deal with a huge outboard. And I bought it just to flip. So I haven't had a lot of experience lately with bigger boats and these new motors. And wow, just incredible. Obviously fuel injected and everything. The weird thing is you're doing this crazy hole shots and top speeds and everything with none of the old noise. Used to be you couldn't hear yourself talk, even on the pontoon boat. What do you say? You can't talk to anybody even with the old 2-strokes and stuff. These 4-strokes, wide open, 60 miles an hour, and you're talking to the passenger like we're talking right now. It's amazing. So you lose some of the feeling of that speed and that violence. And I like violent speed, if you know what I mean. I don't know. But so you lose that. It's kind of weird. I don't know. So Squeaky couldn't type fast enough. Chase. Oh, no way. I almost got. Oh, yeah, Ranger. So you bought a Starcraft. Awesome. Squeaky loved fishing. Try to get out as often as possible. Headed to Lake Ontario this weekend. What do you guys eat? Fish, salmon, and trout there? Or like inland maybe, or if there's some islands like smallmouth. My buddy's up this week around Door County, Wisconsin, and they fish the islands there. He got 2 4.5-pound smallmouth and a 7-pound smallmouth. Huge smallmouth, and you can see down in like 25 feet of water. He bought new nitro, really nice. It's all like lime green metal flake with black metal flake. It's killer. Mine's black metal flake. Well, most of it's dark gray, silver with red lines and some red, and then just cream at the top and the bottom of it that you really don't see when it's in the water. You see mostly gray, silver, and black with red, gray, and silver interior. It's a slick boat. If I can find a quick picture, I will show you. But yeah, pretty nifty little boat. So here's a crappie I caught. I hope you guys can see it. That's pretty big crappie, huh? Can you see that? Nice. That was the first fish in the new boat. I was fishing for walleyes with about a 4-inch minnow and nailed that thing. Actually, it wasn't a minnow. I ran out quick. You normally, right now, we'd be fishing jigs and minnows and getting ready to switch over to leeches, depending on the temperature. And we fished leeches all summer. but I didn't run to the bait shop, so I used some of that gulp stuff on these pillowhead jigs we use. It's all I catch everything in there except muskies on jigs and minnows, and I've caught muskie on jigs and minnows. So there's the inside of the boat. And oh, I got my truck back from the body shop too. There's the front casting platform. There's from the front of the boat. And let's see. Yeah, there's built-in rod storage, battery chargers, built-in sonar, radar, this, that, the other friggin' thing. There's the boat lift that no longer fits. This doesn't even do it justice, but the motor's taller than me, and that's not. It's way taller than the picture shows. Here's a good picture of the boat on the trailer, but there you go. So pretty cool. Matching fenders on the trailer and everything, aluminum mag wheels, folding tongue on the trailer so it'll fit in the garage. Even the spare is aluminum. And look at the size of that friggin' motor. When it's in the water, it looks like the ass end is sinking, and all you see is the motor hanging on there. But yeah, and keep in mind, you don't see any of that underneath. All you see in the water is from the silver line up. So it looks like it sits this high out of the water, and just the lines of it. It's a beautiful boat. It really is. Anyhow, yeah, I'm happy, and I can't wait to fish. Lake Ontario. I love fishing the Great Lakes. You need a big boat out there, man. I've had 30 footers out there, and when those waves kick up a little bit, you feel like a toy out there, just being bobbed around like nothing. Boats are toys well beyond my means. They are toys, trust me. But unlike popular belief, mine didn't appreciate it. I doubled my money. Probably the first guy to ever do that on a boat. Mine was fossil booth, inheritance from my dad. Took me almost 2 years to pull the trigger and find exactly what I wanted. We all get help from parents and everything. Trust me, I do too. Absolutely. And we do the same for our kids, right? What good is it if you can't have fun with it? Congrats on a new boat. Hopefully you got a good deal with it. Well, put it this way. I told the guy flat out, no, I ain't buying a Ranger. Are you crazy? That's what I told him. I said, way too much money. He says, let me show you. So he showed me, and I called Scrod, who this kid, nobody fishes more than this man. 360 days a year, maybe more. He might fit in 2 in a day. He lives, eats, breathes. He's got 5 fishing boats, Great Lakes boat, his small runaround boat, his nitro. Then he's got another like Lund, Great Lakes boat, all kinds of stuff. He's got a boat for every occasion, and he's a great fisherman. He truly is. He could be a professional or a guide if he wanted to, no problem. But he literally all his life, that's all he's done. Even his business was a fish store. He sold fish, like to eat, just loves it. So he knows boats, and he had just he had bought a Ranger before the Nitro, or was looking at the Ranger. Then his buddy bought it. This exact same boat, same everything, and he paid 20 grand more than I did. He said, buy it, run it down south here, meaning down in southern Wisconsin or Illinois. He goes, you will get 65,000 in 2 days, no problem. So, yeah, I figured it was a good deal either way. I don't Trek Wars either, or sports ball. What? Good news with gas so high. Yeah, that's one thing I'm not used to. The old fishing boat, I could fill it up in the spring, which was never a fill up because it still had gas from the year before, and use it all summer long, every time going out, this and that. And it might cost me 10, $20. I'd fill it up in the fall. You sometimes wait till spring, but it might cost me $20 a year at best. Well, I blew a half tank in one day out there. Now that thing sucks some gas, but I think the beginning of the tank, it hasn't moved since. So I don't know. We'll see. Gun shows here years ago were the same for FUDs. Yeah, you ever notice you go to a gun show and there's those guys, they got their table set up and they got some nice stuff. And you're like, oh man, I'd love to have that. How much for that? And they throw you some ridiculous price. Well, they're not there to sell their guns. They're there to show off their collection. That's what they're there for. Yeah, that's, we all have it. And everybody likes to bitch about gun shows, but yet they're fun to go to. This was really a good show. What else? There was some good holsters there. Oh, and then I met a reloading component guy who had powder and lots of it, and the good stuff, not just Magnum powders and stuff. And he was cheaper than Cabela's by about $10 a pound. And his primers were decent. I mean, considering right now, they were like $80, $85 a thousand. And he had bulk 223 bullets for $100 a thousand. That's $10 100. That's what I was paying pre-pandemic. And I'm loading those now, 55 grainers. So I got 1,000 of those. I got some tack powder that I hadn't been able to find in a long time. And I got his number, and in my travels, I kind of end up in his area once in a while. So good number to get. And I got that HK guy's number. So might score some cool stuff there. He's got other stuff other than HK stuff. So it'll be pretty cool. So met some nice guys. I saw a lot of Finnish Mosins too. Where'd you see the Finnish ones? Recently? I'm an FN fan. I have a 7mm Colombian Mauser. Cool. Some of those South American Mausers, and then the like Argentinian Mausers, Swedish Mausers. There's so many of them. And I used to kind of write them off as some, small country, no history that I'm interested in. But God, they're just so nice and built so well. Don't overlook them. They're fun to shoot. Downrigger trolling, yeah. So we do that on Lake Michigan for coho in the summers, and you get kings, you get all kinds of stuff. I don't care for coho salmon fishing. You hook them on a downrigger, they're so deep, they don't really fight. I mean, they're small salmon. I like fishing for kings, steelhead, lake trout's fun, brown trout, but kings are what's fun. Most of my Lake Michigan fishing has been, I've done some charters in the summer, but a lot of fall fishing from the piers when they're coming in, or the by the rivers and stuff, and you'll get some big kings in the fall. You never know what you're going to get. It could be lake trout, steelhead. That's fun fishing. I love that. Alan said, anyone pick up some new toys? So we're just getting some of the toys in shape. We are accessorizing, making better, adding to, and I'm really concentrating on that MP5. And man, that, you start with an expensive gun, and it's expensive to outfit it and finish it. So that's been, while I wanted it so bad, it's really set me back as far as other stuff I could be buying and doing, and, but it'll be cool in the end. Right now, I was kind of having a little buyer's remorse, because what fun is it to shoot without a brace, so I can't wait till that comes. Then you're going to see videos galore, because it's going to be fun. I've been secretly loading a ton of 9 on the side so I can go to town with it. Shot the Mark 19 40 millimeter and M250 cal last week. No kidding. Awesome, man. That had to be fun. Sold off an Arsenal AK and a Chinese SKS. How come? Did you get something different? Which Arsenal AK did you sell off? And I'm curious why. Didn't like it or didn't meet the hype? Arsenals are nice guns. I've got a ton of them, and I like them. I won't say I like them better or worse than anything else. They're another AK and another fun one to shoot, and I like each one for its properties. But Gabriel Buddhist III, what's up, boss? Good to be here. Good luck fishing. I picked up a SIG P322 after 3 months out of stock. Will go good with my new mass suppressor as soon as it gets out of NFA jail. Sam 7 SF you sold? And I have one and I have not outfitted that gun properly. I've kind of left most of my Sams stock, really. Although I put on the one, I put the original Bulgarian salmon, speaking of fishing, salmon stock and grip, and the Bakelite handguard and gas tube cover on it. So it looks kind of like an original Bulgarian. And I like that gun a lot. Cool. I don't know what we're going to shoot tomorrow and bring. I want to do a shotgun video. Maybe we'll do shotgun tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to bring a bunch of stuff and shoot some cool videos. We'll see. I don't know. Looking around, trying to decide. Been shooting so much AR because I got so many reloads on my hands. It's easy, doesn't hurt so bad when I'm popping those off versus 500 rounds of 7.62 or something. But and we've been training a lot with ARs. I've got kind of a new appreciation for them, where I'm truly enjoying shooting 5.56 and some of the guns that I built tailored just to me. They're just so sweet and fast, and I'm fast with them, and it's just good. Why'd you sell the SKS though, man? What was it? A Yugo SKS? What'd you say? Chinese. Man, it's hard to find a Chinese. I bet you got what? Did you get $800 for it? Bet you do. Yeah, depending what it was. Was it one of those new shitbox ones out of Classic? The rusty, broken stock ones? Or was it a nice Chinese? I've got a beautiful Chinese. Beautiful. Like the day it came out of factory. And those are going, I'll bet all day long, 800. Maybe they're starting to touch 1,000. I don't know. It's got a blonder stock than the rest of them. My Russian has that deep Arctic birch tiger stripe wood on it. My Yugo has the typical beach oiled, nice finish. And then the Chinese has that very yellow, very reminiscent of the Mac 90 wood or any of the other pre-banned Chinese AKs. More Wisconsin stories. Do you have a LaForge, Wisconsin hunting buck stories? No, I don't. Where's LaForge or Lafarge? I don't know where it's at. If the shit hit the fan, all boats will get cheaper. Yes, they will. But canoes, on the other hand, will go up in value exponentially. I can trade the Ranger for a canoe. And Alan still has 2 of them. Yeah, I truly like stamped guns better than I do milled AKs. And it's not a weight thing. It's none of that. In my book, a good stamped gun, built well, doesn't even have to be that broken, but If it's well worn in, all the better. I've got some stamp guns that are feel smoother than the milled guns, and I don't know. I just like the look of it. To me, it's classic. I love my 107s, my Arsenal 107s. Love those guns. Matter of fact, well, that's the Sam. Oh no, that's my Sam 7 side folder. I'm looking at it right there with all the OD green furniture and mag on it and all. So I didn't leave it stock. I shouldn't say that, but I have not added an optic, and I really need to get my hands on some RS Regulate side mounts. I am short about 3 or 4 of them, and I want to get some optics on these other guns. I love shooting some of them. That Sam 7 SF, I love shooting that gun with iron sights. For whatever reason, it just shoots so well. I really like it. What else at the gun show? They had one thing pisses me off at these gun shows. You guys heard of Osprey? I think it's Osprey. That cheap Chinese sights, different optics. They make everything from red dots to reflex sights to scopes, and they're just cheap junk. And there's always one of their, I don't know if they're a franchise or just a distributor or vendor. Man, this guy had the biggest table in the place with so many optics, and people are buying them. You know, they tell them some kind of story about how great they are, and they're just the junkiest, crappiest stuff. I bought one, and it literally fell apart on me. Jay Trinidad, speaking of stamped AKs, would you go factory import or parts kit builds? Seeing a lot of cool Rummy, Hungarian, and Polish kit builds. There are, and it's something I wanted to bring up to you guys. And I'll answer your question as I go through this. I agree with you. There are some super cool kit builds, and let's face it, you don't even have to do a kit. You can go to Arms of America, whatever, get an 80% or get a 100%, whatever. Buy that. Buy your trunnions, all your stuff, whatever barrel you want, gas blocks, sight blocks, or combos. Build all kinds of cool stuff, right? Usually a combo, sight block, gas block, shorter barrel, or maybe SBR or whatever. Some kind of cool JMax stock or something. And just do some really cool stuff, right? All kinds of neat stuff, and it's all Polish. There's all the Polish parts you want over there, individually, whatever. You can build whatever you want, and that's really, really cool. We didn't have that back in the day. You were buying parts kits. Now, granted, parts kits could be had for $30, $50, $70. If you screwed one up, you didn't care. You tossed it in the garbage and took another part from another kit and whatever. God, I wish I had just stored away. I used to build some guns, and I got pretty good at it. And they're a lot of work for something that nobody's gonna pay you much money for. So unless you're enjoying them and shooting them, it's one thing. Building legal. And look, my connection just got unstable. Imagine that for the first time in the whole video. So you're building it for yourself because you like it, whatever. If you want something custom like that you may want to get something different later, maybe you go to a boutique manufacturer, do that. But while we had the opportunity to learn and screw up as we went, and it not cost us a ton of money, you could possibly be kind of wrecking a historical kit, But today you can buy all those individual pieces, build whatever you want, and have your gun the way you like it, But in my book, There's a ton of, you got Brills, you've got Foxes. God, they had Fed kits too recently. But I'm talking complete guns. Foxes, Brills, Wassers still, all the stuff from Zastava. That stuff's still available. If you don't have one or are missing one or two of them, and I would buy every import you can find first and every variation and have one, shoot them, put one away, whatever. But they're all going to go away one day, guys, probably sooner than later. And, we never thought we'd see Russian guns go away. And then you never thought you'd see Vepers go away. And one day the Romanian guns are going to go away, the Yugo guns are going to go away, and the Polish guns will go away. I promise you they will. Hopefully it doesn't, but, it seems like all good things come to an end at some point when it comes to this stuff. And it's held true. We lost Chinese guns, Russian guns, on and on and on. I would get my hands, if I was buying Polish guns, which I have to, I have zero. And for someone with a collection like mine, it's kind of even weird to say, or sad to say in a way. But the Brill, obviously, true military gun. The Fox, not so much. And I'm like Misha. I like my guns to have been actual representative of guns that were actually used in military actions, for the most part. If I were, what's out there right now, if I had none of them, I would buy, just from a collection standpoint, so I could say I have one in my collection. I'd buy, obviously, probably an M70 first, a ZPAP, whatever version you want. And then I would do a Brill next. I think those are really cool guns, and they're actually used by a military. I like the rifles. I'd probably do a pistol too, same with the Yugo. And then if you don't have a Wasser, even though shit stick, right, in a lot of books. Not mine, I'm not saying, but it is probably the gun I shoot the least. But I'd get a Romanian, and then I'd worry about the kit stuff. Get your other stuff done, put away, because one day you're going to say, haha, I got it. One day a friend is going to come over, or you'll make a new friend, and because you'll be at the range and, oh, nice AK, and next thing you know, you're friends, and you'll be over at the house one day and you'll say, look what I got. You'll go, no way. It'll be like that Chinese side folder one day. Maybe not that rare, but it'll be, oh my God, it's like saying you got a pre-band. One day it will be that. So buy them, because imports can go away in an instant. All it takes is a presidential signature and it's gone. Not just me. I'm not the only one telling you guys this. Tons of guys will tell you this. And anybody doing it for a while that knows anything is going to tell you that, because we've seen them go. Just boom, gone. Chinese guns, pew, gone. Russian guns, pew, gone. No warning. Vepers, gone. No warning. I mean, you had what was here, but instantly, overnight, the prices double and all of that. Look what Vepers are bringing. I was sick when I was paying $800 for a Veper. 800. Could you imagine? I should have bought 50 of them. I mean, God, unreal. Wassers. I can't. I hate to say that same thing all the time, but it just shocks me, guys, that a Wasser's $900. They were $299. $299. $399. When they went to $500, I wrote it off. I'll never buy one. Now, I need another Wasser to put away. I need a Wasser. I have early Wasser, the beat up shit sticks before they got their shit together. It runs perfectly, but it's all twisted up, mess from the factory. That's how they came. They were junk. Nothing was aligned. Um, Sights were off, everything. But they run. They're accurate. So you can't knock them. But get yourself, put a Fox away, put a Brill away, rifle and pistol. Put as many Z-Paps and M92s and whatever else you can buy. Put all that away. If you can find some arsenals, put those away. Put a Wasser away. Find yourself an AES 10B, the RPK. Find one. Put it away. I still don't have a PSL. You got to get me one of these. Those. Look at the prices on those now. Martinko Shotgun. I got the KSG. I had to wait for an OD green one. I don't blame you. Am I the cause of your OD green obsession? I hope so. I want to like WBP, but it's not really a com block factory. No, it's not. But it's an import gun. It's a quality gun. So grab one. I would certainly do the Burl first. That's the Polish gun I'd do first. That's a cool gun. Local gun shop has a Yugo SKS for $650. Can't believe the price. I paid $199 for mine. When I got done with my Mosins, the first gun I bought. So I've always been into guns, right? Because my dad was. He was a big. Back then, they thought you were nuts when if you had an AR or an AK back then, you were fringe, you know. Or you were really into it, one of the two. And so I grew up with, an SP1, an FNFAL, Ingram Max, Uzis, KG9s, you name it. And but my guns were my deer rifle, my shotgun, and then on the police force, my service revolver. And I never really had to buy much of my own because my dad had everything, and I could shoot anything I wanted, So I was spending money on cars and motorcycles and stuff. When I got back into guns, because of the Mosin Nagant. I walked into a sporting goods store with my kids to get some basketball stuff or baseball stuff for school. And I passed the gun counter and I said, "What is that $69 gun?" It looked kind of cool because it was an M44 with a bayonet, folding bayonet. Wow, okay, that's kind of cool. But $69, what the hell is this beat up piece of junk? Tells me the story, World War II, Russian, that's all I had to hear. Love World War II. I thought, for $69, how can you go wrong? I hadn't bought a gun since 1980, 89, 90, somewhere in there. When I bought my service revolver. It was the last gun I had bought. I'm sorry. We went right after I was the last class to go through with revolvers. So as soon as our class graduated the academy, the next class coming in had automatics. So I had to go out buy an automatic right away, of course, because you had to have one. It was cool. You weren't going to serve anymore with a revolver. So I bought that. But first gun I bought since, let's say 1990. Yeah, 90, I'd say. Yeah, it was 90 because I had a Honda CBR 600, 1990, that I drove to the academy every day. And so this had to be 16 years ago, 15 years ago, 14 years ago. I saw the Mosin Nagants, bought an M44, went home, shot it out back, and 3-4 foot fireballs, got on the internet, read everything I could find about Mosin Nagants. and all the variants and all the stuff. And then I started going back and I'm buying 9130s and M38s and M44s and this version and that version and this barrel and on and on and on, and X-snipers and all of that. Well, when I had read everything I could find and I knew everything there was to know about Mosin Nagants and their variants and the fin guns and captures and snipers and all of that. Once I know everything, I get bored with it. I'm on to the next thing. So they had, it was the next cheapest gun too that I could afford at the time. I'm a young dad raising a family, got a new house, all this stuff, lots of bills. So the AKs were a little more, but the SKS Yugos that looked brand new were $199. So I picked up one of those and had the spigot and the grenade launcher and the folding bayonet and the grenade sight and all that cool stuff. And I got that. And then for Christmas, all I wanted was the Tapco kit for it. And I put the stock on it and all that crap, the pistol grip. And man, I thought it was cool. But by then, my wife bought me for Valentine's Day my first AK. And that was built by a subcontractor of Century, an M70 AB2 underfolder. Back then, guys were laughing at them. Century junk. Well, it's about the only good gun Century's ever built. And today they're pretty highly regarded. I would like to hope partially because of me touting them. It went from guys going, that's a Century to, oh, wow, you got one of them. And I love that gun. And then the next one was a Wasser because it was $299 while the M70 was $399. I got that. And then it was off to the races. But if it wasn't for that $69 Mosin Nagant, I wouldn't be sitting here today on this live stream in my gun room with all this cool stuff. And I just hit it at the right time. I mean, I could be that guy that says, or that even older guy that says, oh, you youngins don't know what it's like when it pre-ban, we had sear cut receiver FNs and we had Max and Uzis and all this cool stuff before the assault weapons ban. And yeah, I could be that guy. And those guys did the same thing. They'd say the same thing to me as I'm saying to you now is back in the day, well, don't take it as somebody flexing or somebody trying to tell you that the good old days are gone. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm telling you is get out there and buy what's there, because you will be me just like I'm that, probably what we consider a FUD now, even though he's not a FUD. He had all that cool stuff. You'll be that guy, because today's stuff that you can buy is going to be tomorrow's. The young guy going, oh my God, I would kill for that thing, And in a lot of ways, guys, the last 5-10 years have been the best times to accumulate so much cool stuff at not a ton of money. Back in the 80s, yeah, you had some cool stuff, but you had, A1 type, maybe an M4s, an FN, stuff like that, but there wasn't anywhere near the cool aftermarket and the sheer amount and styles and variants of ARs and AKs and SIGs and shotguns. And God, I look around, it's stuff of the dreams were made of back then. It just wasn't there. AKs, guys, there wasn't. You had Chinese guns and some screw-built, home-built pieces of junk floating around. Really, it was junk. There was a reason they were considered junk. The Chinese guns were considered junk, not because they were, just because of where they were from, really. They were the same guns then as they are now. Good guns. They're not junk at all. They're very nice guns. But nobody bought them. Preppers bought SKSs and AKs. You know, the guys with money were buying ARs and other cool stuff. But what you have the ability to buy right now is going to be the stuff dreams are made of 10, 15 years from now. So don't pass it up. Buy no matter what the price is, because they don't go down. So even a bad price today is a good price tomorrow. Just buy. Just buy whatever you can afford and as much of it. And if you can, buy double or triple what you think you should. And don't go, well, I got a lot of these. Just hold on to them. Never, I couldn't afford to rebuy what I have, guys. I couldn't. No way. I never imagined prices would be like this. And it's not a testament to the value or, oh my God, I got all this money now. I could sell these and it's a fortune. And no, it just proves your value. Your dollars were shit. But at the end of the day, you couldn't go back and buy it all again. So it's a multitude of things. It's this super cool collection that you can enjoy and shoot and fondle and clean and look at and teach people and history and all those things. It's also wealth storage. You know, it's like any other investment, probably one of the best investments. It's by far one of the best investments. Very few other places can you make 30%, 50%, 100% on your money in a year, 2 years, whatever. All I'm telling you is, think about who makes that S2000 or whatever it is, the folding. You can get a pistol caliber carbine that comes in 9.45, 40. We don't think much of those things, right? Yeah, they're kind of cool. Kel-Tec, kind of cool, right? Guess what? That's going to be the KG9 of the future or whatever, something like that. I'm not saying it's a subgun, but some of the Scorpions. Look at the Scorpions. Tavors, Galils. Guys, it's all there. Quit bitching. Quit talking about prices and it's too expensive and I can't this and I can't find ammo, and I just find what you can. I'm not telling you to pay obscene money, but if you find what's an average deal or a fair deal or a good deal today, buy it. Don't even think twice. Don't sell any of them. Hang on to them. You will be, if you take my advice, one day you'll say, God damn, that rock guy, am I glad I listened to him? Or you're going to be kicking yourself going, why the hell didn't I listen to rock? Why? I could have had 20 of those for dirt. I wish I had somebody telling me and forcing me to just buy it, Chris, buy it. Because it will be. It will be. It will be. It will be. If you're going to modify them, I would suggest no permanent modifications, especially to the import guns. Let's face it, new in the box always brings the most money. But a like new shot out of the box is still worth big money. Don't beat them up. Be careful with them. You want a gun to shoot and to practice and to LARP and to bang around and toss in the mud and all that. Get a run-of-the-mill whatever, or build something that's replaceable or repaintable or refinishable or rebarrel or whatever. That's why I bought my NPAP. That was my training gun running around. And look at what, before the ZPAP, those things had jumped way up. And they're still, it's a ZPAP with the thinner receiver and a non-chrome barrel. That's all. But even the OPAPs back then didn't have chrome barrels. Yugo never did chrome barrels till the ZPAPs, second generation ZPAPs. You see a cool combat shotgun, you want to get your hands on a Benelli or like the Beretta, like my 1301. I love that shotgun in the tactical format. One day that's going to be gold too. Get yourself AR-10. What's some real basic stuff? Maybe AR pistols. Get yourself a. What else? What else? What else? What else? Get yourself the micro and a mini. Whatchamacallit? Romanian. I'm drawing a blank. Staring right at it. I can't think of the name. It's what happens when you get old, guys. Buy whatever you get a deal on and buy 2 of it. If you can buy 5, buy 5. I'm just telling you. Prices, this inflation's been coming a long time. It's all planned. It was all planned, every bit of it, down to the COVID and everything. It was all planned so they could blame the monetary change on something other than their political policies and the Fed policies. That's what you knew was coming, and it ain't done yet. I am now at the point where I think buying things right now is the best way to use your money, because every day it's worth less. Your money buys more today than it will tomorrow, and certainly more than it will next week or a month from now. Or you may just lose it in the stock market or whatever the case may be. But right now it buys commodities, physical goods you can hold in your hand that will appreciate and will be more money tomorrow. Every day steel is higher. Every day transportation is higher. Every day diesel is higher. And it ain't going back. Whenever you've had inflation, yeah, you'll see some pullback 7 years from now. But it is what it is. Wages have increased, hopefully, or partially to get there. Fuel prices may drop. But the cost of living, the cost of goods, it ain't dropping. It is what it is now, guys. Get used to it. I told you this was coming. I've been screaming it from the mountaintops for months. I didn't quite know exactly what, when, how. But all I'm going to tell you is that's why I thought even the boat, hell, I got the money now. The money's not going to be worth the same. Look what here. It proved what I got for my 30-year-old boat, 32-year-old boat. How can a 32-year-old boat still be worth 60% of its original value sticker price in 1990? It was bought in 1990, and in 2022, 32 years later, it's worth 60% of its original MSRP. Granted, it was in great shape, excellent shape, not like new, excellent. How? The guy wasn't a dummy. Mine was one of the cheaper ones out there. If I held out, I probably could have got $8,000. It's insane. It just shows you what your money's worth now. It's not. And tomorrow it's going to be worth less. You say, well, when the economy does this, I got to have some backup. Yeah, you do, because it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. If you're not in a recession right now, you soon will be. I just had the largest rate hike in years and years. Granted, nowhere near as high as what it was years ago. Back just prior to Reagan, you had interest rates 17-18% on a car, on a mortgage. A lot of you guys don't remember that, but it was nothing to go buy a car with good credit and pay 17%. when the recession, when we were coming out of the recession, they wanted to sell cars. That's when Ford first came out with 0%. 0%. It was unheard of. And Ford sold every single car they had in dealer inventory and pre-sold everything coming. You couldn't find a Ford, any Ford. And then the other manufacturers follow suit. So the interest rates dropped. Now, for years, decades even, everyone's used to single-digit interest rates, right? And then for the last 5-10 years, 5, 9, 4, 9, 3, 9, 2, 9, 1, 9, 0. Not anymore. There's 3 more rate hikes planned for this year, and it's going to keep on going. In order for all this to make sense or to truly pull us out of the recession, the interest rates the banks are charging have to be higher than the rate of inflation. So right now, to completely stop inflation and to make, frankly, lending money profitable for the banks, they should loans should be at 9.9% or so. That's where they should be. But if they did that, what would happen? There'd be runs on the bank. It'd be over. It'd be the Great Depression all over again. And it very well may be at the end of the day. Do I think so? Probably not. But it's going to be darker than 07, 08. I'm thinking. We'll see. Look back one day and watch this. Been pretty right so far, huh? On the bands, on the ammo, on the everything. If one of you guys can say where I was wrong, you let me know. Somebody said I was wrong on a political thing, comment. Well, you were pretty right on a lot of things, but you were way off on the political. What political thing? What were you saying? I don't know. I'm just telling you, I foresee a lot of people my age group, and God forbid if you're, 60, 61, 62 to 67, you're screwed. You're screwed. You just added another, if you can retire, unless you're way ahead of the game. But if you were just now saying, all right, I'm set, I'm good, I got it, I can pull the plug 6 months from now or next year or 2 years from now, because I'm there, I got enough, guess what? No, you don't. Back to work, because you only have half of what you needed. Pretty much half. At least when this is done, you'll be lucky to have half. You already lost 30% of it. They're telling you inflation's 8.8. It's not. It's way higher. Way higher. Look at it. Is your food costs only 8% higher? If you're one of those guys that families that has meat in the freezer that maybe got buried in the bottom and, oh shit, we should have made these or whatever, pull out a steak from a year ago or a year and a half ago. Let's say it's a ribeye. Look at the price per pound. And next week when you go to the grocery store, take a look. Take a look-see. And then tell me if inflation's only 8.8%. By comparison, the price of firearms right now, they've come back down. There's everything out there you could want to buy. Nothing's in short supply for the most part. Maybe if you were looking for some particular this, that, the other. But they're no higher. You can buy all these AKs for pretty much pandemic pricing. Little higher maybe, but they're not at those crazy prices anymore. They've come down. Some have went back to where they were. You can buy a Wasser at $8.99. They were like that beforehand. Yeah, ARs are dirt cheap right now. If you say, well, I can't afford these imports, then be buying ARs and parts and anything you can get your hands on. Receivers, finished guns, even an MP, M&P, Smith & Wesson. Buy them. Just buy them. ARs are what AKs were 15 years ago. They're so cheap. And maybe you're not into them because you like AKs, but boy, you'll be glad you bought them 10, 15 years from now. It's everything flip-flop. That is the best way to explain what's happened. Back in the day, the big money was the AR and the shit stick money was the AKs. And everything's gone like this, like the rest of the world. That should tell it all right there. Who would have ever thought, ever in a million years? Is what it is. Yeah, go pick up a Scorpion. Hell, for that matter, pick up a Mossberg with the bird's head stock. You won't see those from a few years from now. Wow, look at those. They used to sell those. I promise you. Who knows? Maybe gun control goes away. Maybe we win a big case and something changes and they lay off. But we've been hoping for that forever. When you think about how long that fight's been going on, it's pretty impressive, the fight we've put up. But like any underdog or any country that is holding its own only because of its will and not necessarily its wealth and its weapons and its whatever supporting it. If you're that country that's like, I hate to use this example because it's really not true, really, but Ukraine, the underdog, the only reason they're holding their own is, or had lasted as long as they are, is because of their will to do it. And that's how I see the firearm community, or at least the 5% that actually do the heavy lifting. It's only because of our will that we've fought so long and these battles we have and held off a lot of the super bad stuff. But they keep picking away, and it's tiring. Isn't it tiring, guys? Every time you look at the internet, you watch a YouTube video, you turn on the news, you read a magazine, it's all about this gun control. This is coming out. That's coming out. The Senate's going to hear. The House is going to hear. The president's going to speak. This shooting, that shooting. It's just tiring. It's tiring. At some point, you're that worn out soldier that's been through every battle from Normandy all the way to Berlin, right? You just don't know if you're going to win that final battle, though, do you? It's tiring. You say, how much more can I do? How much more can I carry the wounded on my shoulders, Don't you feel that way sometimes with control? I do. It's like, God, can they just give up? But they won't. It's their will. They have a will like we do. They want to see it gone. They want to see you stripped of your rights, the law-abiding citizen. They don't care that all but a few criminals that are doing all of this, they would rather see you stripped of your rights because in their eyes, that takes away the criminal's ability to do what he's doing, when in fact, it changes nothing for them and everything for guys like you and me and gals like you and me. They won't give up. They produce a fresh crop and they indoctrinate and they just, for every kid you don't expose to it, for every person you allow to believe the untruths that they speak, it chips away and chips away. The most important thing you can do is get a young person into shooting sports. Introduce them to collecting and the history. Tell them the cool stories. Show them the cool movies about Garand's and what they did with that weapon in World War II and how advanced it was for its time. And that without that, we may not have won that war. And talk about the battles and tell them the history. If you don't know it, read some books. and tell it, because you got to make it exciting for kids. I don't know about you, but I was a kid and you'd go to church and you could sit in church and listen to the pastor speak. And a lot of times it was like Charlie Brown, right? Yeah, you know, the adults speak in the Peanuts movie is wah, 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 wah. That's all you hear from the adults, right? So that's all it is, background noise. You're not, you got some stodgy old preacher up there and he's, you know, telling the stories and reading the sermons and, or telling the sermons and reading the Bible verses, and it can be boring, right? Dry, and you don't understand the way the Bible's written and some of the language in it. But then you get this newfangled preacher in there, and he speaks like you and I do, and he modifies the stories just enough or brings them into today's context and tells them, and everyone's on the edge of their seat listening. The Bible's an amazing book, and oh my God, the greatest adventure movie ever written, right? There's everything in there for battles and future and you name it, it's in there. Intrigue and adultery and sex and on and on and on and on, right? Boy, you could make a hell of a movie series, couldn't you? If it's told right and you engage those people, the congregations, the kids. So how do you make this interesting? Well, luckily enough, if they haven't been completely indoctrinated, things that go bang are pretty interesting to most young men and a lot of young ladies. You know, loud things like racing motors and God, if it had a motor and it made a lot of noise, I wanted it and I wanted to do it. And if it went bang, I wanted to do it twice as good. And I still think, today you look at kids, they don't give a rat's ass about cars. They don't understand how their dad would have done anything, would have died to have a certain muscle car, right? Well, what do you mean, Dad? You need a car to get to school, you know? They don't care. They don't care what it looks like. They drive a black Ural, right? Well, maybe they will one day. I don't know. Maybe everyone will drive the same black car, you know, built in the Soviet bloc somewhere. I don't know. Or the U.S. bloc. I don't know. But I don't know how they can't find it interesting. But then again, they don't mystify it anymore. There's not the change and the coolness and all that stuff. But yet guns and firearms and the shooting sports still have it. You know, Call of Duty's out there, and there's so many guys in that 20s age range, even 30s, that grew up playing Call of Duty, and they know, like my son, he knew every gun and spec and this and that of every World War II weapon and machine guns and rates of fire and this and that and the history and the battles they were used in and what branch used them. And it was amazing. At 5 years old, he spouted this stuff off. Me and my father-in-law would look at each other, shake our head like, how does this kid know this much? Because that had made it exciting. You have to make it exciting for this generation and these people and tell the stories. Be that new preacher. Just preach our story. Doesn't help. It doesn't hurt to preach a little about the Bible either while you're at it. Because at the end of the day, guys, this is a battle of good and evil. It truly is. Truly is. I believe that. The older I get, the more I see, the more I learn. That's what it is. That's what it is. Just do your part. Do your part. Do all the stuff with federal, state government, but locally is the most important where you can make the biggest change. I'm thinking about volunteering my time to see if either our high school or a nearby one needs a trap coach. We out here in the country, we still have high schools that have trap shooting teams, and they shoot against other high schools. Imagine that in Chicago, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Kansas City, LA. Not happening. Trap? What's trap? You mean you're going to go trap something? What? You know, let alone guns. What do you mean? A school-sponsored event? Guns? Are you crazy? Yeah. Well, thank the Lord that it's still commonplace here. Just about every high school in the area has a trap team. So I have a lot of knowledge. And what a great way to teach young kids all about firearms, not just trap, not just how to do something fun and be good at something, but something that'll last them a lifetime. And along the way, you're able to teach them why the Second Amendment is so important. Not only would some changes to the laws maybe take away the thing they learned to love, shooting trap, but maybe you teach them why other guns are just important, if not more. So get involved locally. Run for school board. Run for a local office. You say, I can't do that. I don't have the. Most of these guys don't have time. Local stuff, they got other jobs too. But they do it. Get involved. Be a committeeman or something. Go to a local town meeting and start going. Everyone they have. Pretty enough, soon enough, they know your face. You hear about a committee, you do this, do that, something that interests you. Hell, your school should interest every one of you. You should know what's going on, what's being taught. Volunteer at the school. I don't have the time. I'm tired, Chris. Great. Be tired. Be tired. And when you're no longer a free person, just, Dad, how come we got to live like this? How come we don't have like when you were a kid? Well, I was tired, son. I was tired. We're all tired. Do something. Do something. You want your kids to grow up in a world like you did, to have the fun you did, the good times you did, the memories you did, do the fun things and events and sports and hunting with their old man, fishing with their old man. Do it. They even want to take that away from you guys. If you look deep enough, and you'll run across them accidentally sometimes, but if you do some searches, guys, public, what we consider public resources, natural resources, animals, fish, lakes, rivers, streams, forests, they don't want that accessible by you and me. The UN, go on the UN's website and just look up some of the old stuff. There's already plans in place for public lands in the U.S. to be annexed as no-go zones. This plan is out there, and this is the beginning of it. And you'll think, you're crazy, Chris. There's no such thing. Look it up. Go look. Just dig in. Go to the bottom of their webpage and look at some of the titles down there, and click on these old studies. Population. It has everything to do with population and moving the population around the world to different countries, taking some of the heavy population away here and putting them in areas with very sparse population, like, I don't know, the American West, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, New Mexico, Utah. Yeah, take a look. It's there. It's been presented. It was voted on once in Congress. And if it wasn't, I forget who it was, if it wasn't for one senator that stood up and said, wait a second, what is this? What are you talking about? We haven't, nobody knows about this. Why are we voting on it? Do you mean, am I right when I say that you want this and we're voting on this? Yeah. No, we're not voting. He put a stop to it. Or it would have been voted on and maybe passed. Look at what they did with the Small Arms Treaty with the UN. Do you know what that does, guys? Any idea? You've heard rumblings about it here and there, and it's one of those things, it's not happening, so there's other things I got. Holy shit. If you guys read this, and it'll come to fruition one day. Maybe it won't pass, maybe it will. But again, they're inching away. They're getting close. This is becoming normal speak. You follow me? It's, oh yeah, that's been around a while. It must be okay. Sooner or later, you're going to see it. They want the same rules for all countries, all worlds, all of that. And there's one ruling class. And these are the people you say, well, who are these people pushing all these agendas? They're the ultra rich, elite class. Who's part of it? Name it. If they're billionaires, they're in it. And they push this agenda. You'll never hear their names because they operate through all these NGOs, non-governmental organizations. All of a sudden you go, well, who's this World Health Organization? You think, well, that must be government, right? It's not government. It's a bunch of individuals appointed to these positions that push all these agendas. And who's the World Health Organization? Do you know? Do you know who it's made up of? Do you know who finances it? Do you know where they get their money? Do they produce a product? No, they don't. There's nothing there to make a profit on, guys. Well, there is at the end game. But they're the ones that send down these decrees. And then the enforcers are the government, the politicians. They're the ones that enforce it. These NGOs, non-governmental organizations who get their marching orders and send these ideas and plans down to the politicians because they give them money. That's why they go along with it. And then they enforce it. They pass the laws they want passed. Why? So they can take control, make more money. You and I are just the worker bees. It's that simple. It's that simple. Look up 2 things I just told you about tonight. 2 things. Take the time and read a little bit. Take half an hour of your life, an hour. Look into it. I promise you'll find that I'm not lying. I'm not even stretching the truth to you. Nothing. It's all there. Because you hear this and you go, what plan? What this? Oh, some big master plan. Yeah, there is. There is. Is it scary? I don't know. It's not like Frankenstein walking across your lawn or a horde of zombies coming at you. But I guess in a way it is. Do you want to live the life you live now where you can make essentially your world what you want, make of it what you want, be able to own what you want, do what you want, when you want, go where you want, buy what you want? If you like those things and not being told what to do, then yeah, it's scary. It's very scary. And it's 10 years ago, it was far off. Today, not so much. It's like a snowball racing at you, building up steam faster and faster and faster. They know they only have a short time. So they're moving it through at light speed, everything they can. And yeah, there'll be a break in it because it's coming, hopefully. Hopefully there's not some magic. They've stopped the vote count or whatever. They'll just shut me down, but I'll never believe it. I don't think a lot of you do either. But we have such a short attention span, we'll forget till the next time. So, this too shall pass, what we have going on currently. And, our side, whatever you want to call it, will take control for 2 years or 4 years or this or that. And then they'll jump right back in and not start where they left off, but had been working in the background, they'll leap ahead again exponentially. So it's not tomorrow. It's not next year. It might not be 4 years. It might be 8 years from now. But just know every day it's moving. And each generation, uh, they move along in those 8 years. They die out. The next generation comes in and they don't remember what the previous one was and the freedoms you enjoyed then. Think about if my grandfathers aren't around anymore, but if they magically walked in the room right now and sat down and watched the evening news and read a little bit and heard what's going on, it'd be, boys, grab your guns. We got to go take care of something again, just like we did in 1942, 43, 44, 45. Yeah, this would be shocking beyond all belief. Go back a generation prior to that? I mean, hell no. Yeah, I told you, our founding fathers fought a war over 2 cents in tax. 2 cents in tax. What do you think they do hearing one day of today's news being read or listened to one congressional session on Second Amendment rights or First Amendment rights, or some of the canceling that's going on and all that? What do you think they would do? This isn't that country anymore. It's lost because they count on the fact that each generation is lost. I don't know the life my great-grandfather lived, even though he was alive when I was little. But I don't know what he thought about, what he did every day. He never taught me anything or ideals or, hey, young man, that when this happens or you get older, you're the I don't know what he thought. But I know that what we think today and what we watch today would not be approved of in the least bit by him. And I'm not talking about the newfangled. No, I'm talking about the ideals of this country and its government and how it's being run, and our freedoms and our Constitution and how it's interpreted and our laws and all those things. By no way, shape, or form would it be approved of. And our kids say the same thing. Oh, that's just dad spouting off again. I remember my dad doing it back when I was younger. I never understood, and now he does it too, and I understand. And I wish I would have understood so much earlier that there's so much that we've given up. We've just given it up. It's not enough just to pass it on to your kids. Those same ideals need to hold true with your kids, with their kids. They can't change. They can't back off. They can't say, this is okay. It's okay to give that up. It's okay to give this if we get that. Well, we never get anything. But I'm not talking just Second Amendment rights, guys, but that's the one right that enforces the rest. So look at what they're doing to freedom of speech. They say you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, right? Well, yes, you can. It's not against the law to do that. It's not against the law to do that. It's against the law to create a dangerous situation, but it's not against the law to say it. But that's what they want to do. So you can say it. You can yell it at the top of your lungs. If nobody gets hurt over it or anything, there's nothing wrong. You're right. And let's remember one thing. These aren't rights given to us by government, by these people in power that we've put there. It's not their right to give. The Constitution is just reaffirming our God-given rights. It's not a document that says, we, the government, give you the right to own a firearm. We, the government, give you the right to say what you want. We, the government, are giving you the right not to have illegal search and seizure. It's a reaffirmation of your God-given rights. Saying this country, this government is not going to interfere with the rights you already have. You follow? There's a little difference there. And too many think of it the other way. And I see my watchers have dropped by 75% in the last 20 minutes here, half hour. And that's fine. Most guys come here for the gun content, some of my stupid stories, and some of the fun stuff, right? But we're at a point, guys, where this needs to be talked about. And if you like the fun stuff, then you better stick around for this stuff. And you better do something about it, or there ain't going to be any more fun. And forget about the fun. There's not going to be the world, the life, the country, the things that you work toward, the family that you think you know now. It's here and it's real. And all the wealth this country's created for itself, the people have created, you've created through your hard work and all, whether you've managed to store that wealth, whether you've managed to just get by, you're still in a great position compared to 99% of the world. The person with the least amount of expendable income, maybe he's not even getting by, without a little help here and there. You are still 500 times better off than 99.9% of the rest of the world. Do you understand that? If you can go to a drawer in your kitchen and look around your house and find $1 and change, you are richer than 99% of the world. Think about that. Think about that. So the next time you want to bitch or talk about how hard things are or this or that, I wouldn't bitch so much. We don't even know. People here, other than people still alive in their 80s, 90s, 100s, don't know what it's like to go without. They really don't. Even those that struggle, even if you've went to bed without a meal once, twice, 10 times, 50 times in your life, you don't know what it's like to truly go without. You have no clue, none. By the same token, those that want to wish for, hear all these guys, speaking out about revolution and we need to fight back and all this. You don't know what you're talking about either, because to wish for those things is something you don't ever want to wish for. Find someone, a friend, an acquaintance, a church member or something that lived through the Yugoslavian struggle, the Serbian, Bosnian thing over there. They know what it's like to go without. They know what it. Talk to maybe someone in the Ukraine. I don't know. Find somebody from a war-torn country in Africa that's been torn up by warlords for the last 50 years. Those people know what it's like to go without. But people here, even those standing on street corners begging for money, don't know what it's truly like, because there's still services to take care of people. They're not going to starve to death. They may know what it's like to go without mental health care, because that's the cause of most of that, and drug abuse and whatnot. And that's lacking. But we don't know what it's like to go without. But you may, if you just decide that, this isn't the fun stuff I came here for. This is, I'll go, there's other channels for that. I'll go there for that. I'm just telling you the plain reality of it, guys. I'm not some old guy. I'm not a guy with all the answers. But I think I know what I'm talking about for the most part, and the changes I see and how quick these changes have happened. Guys, all millions of people, not just in this country, but around the world, put masks on their face when the science said not going to stop these tiny little particles. But we did it, and they're still doing it. I still see people running around. And they say, well, how could they get everybody in on this? They did. It's called money. That's what it's called. If they can do that, what else can they do? What are they doing every day? It's not some big conspiracy. It's not some crazy talk. It's the truth. It's what happened. COVID happened. That was real. But just what some were telling you was not. And there's a reason. That just doesn't happen just because we want to see what's going to happen, how they're going to react. Maybe that was part of it. But yeah, look at what's going on. Look at inflation. Yeah, people say, well, why would Biden shut down all these pipelines? We were energy independent. Why would he shut down these pipelines? Why would Europe shut off gas from Norway? Why would they shut down their other pipelines? So the only place they can get gas from is Russia. Why would the U.S., who is totally energy independent with gas prices around $2, why would they shut down that pipeline? Why would they shut down drilling? Why would they shut down this, that, the other thing? Why? Because he didn't want to get elected? Because he wanted to piss people off? Why would they do that? Why? We say it all the time. You've heard your family say it. You've heard news people say it. You've heard friends say it. Why would they take something like that and do it? It's not just because they hate Donald Trump. It's not because of that. There's a reason, guys. You know what the reason is. That's why your friends and family and people talk about it. Why would they do that? There's a reason. We know what it is. It's involved. You may not know the end game, although you do. You don't want to speak it. You don't want to think it's happening or that it can't happen. It won't happen. Somebody will put a stop to it. Yeah, well, that somebody's you. You have to get involved. You have to speak up. Don't be afraid to say what I'm saying right now. Don't think once in a while, I think, hey, one of my friends watching this, maybe an old college buddy or something, and man, Chris gone off the friggin' deep end. No, I'm not off the deep end. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm hoping you'll see and get involved. And it starts locally. It starts locally because at the end of the day, the rules we work under, live under, on a day-to-day basis are your local rules, laws, communities, governments, town, county, state. That's what you live under, and that's where you can make the most change. You're not going to make a shit worth of difference in Washington. You're not. They're not going to. What do you get when you write it? All you guys, a bunch of you write in and write letters to your senators, your representatives, and what do you get? A form letter back, right? And you go, well, if enough of us did it, they're going to get the message. Your message means nothing compared to the millions of dollars they're getting to put this all through. It means nothing, and they don't care. Their agenda's set, and they know where their bread is buttered and where their income's coming from. And once they're involved, they can't back out of it, guys. And that swamp they talk about, that swamp is not only the Democrats, it's Republicans, and it's anybody involved at a federal level. It truly is. They go to that town and they get sucked in. They have good intentions. They're going to do this, and I'm going to fight for you, and your voice will be heard, and this and that. And then someone comes up to them and says, hey, I want you to come to this dinner party, and I'd like you to meet so-and-so. And hey, we want you on our committee to do this. And they get involved, and hey, maybe their son ends up with a DUI, or maybe, like things that happen to everyday blue collar people. Oh, maybe their daughter got pregnant, or their son got someone pregnant, or this and that. And now when they really need something, do you think it's beneath them to go, hey, heard about your son? You know, you wouldn't want that coming out in the newspaper. I can get that handle and keep that under wraps if you just, I want you to meet this guy over here. Come on. If you don't think that happens on the daily, you got another thing coming, guys, because it happens everywhere. It happens in your daily life, right? Once they're in that system, they are sucked in, and unless they are lily white as the driven snow, yeah, it's happened. It's happening. So don't count on changing a goddamn thing in Washington. That ain't happening. Even at your state level. Look at these criminals. Look at the sheer amount of criminals. You can all name, not just on one hand, but probably on two. If I gave you 2 minutes, you'd come up with 10 people that absolutely, positively should have been charged and been put in prison. And not even over the big scandals, some of the little stuff, right? But they never get charged. All these investigations and congressional hearings and on and on and on and on. And nothing happens. And you go, how does that? Yeah, why isn't? And then it's the next story. It's the next shooting. Those magically pop up. Oh, those are so convenient. Can't get over how they couldn't be more convenient if they tried. I don't know. It's weird. Strange. Things that make you go, Yeah. Even these invasions of the Ukraine, let's say. God, the timing's impeccable. Inflation. That big story. What happened to or plane crashes? Those are another one, right? A whole goddamn plane disappears, never to be found again, not so much as a cushion. And it's on the news for weeks, this, that, the other, and then gone. Gone. Same with shootings. One will happen. What was that one? The crazy dude ran into the movie theater. Right? Didn't he dye his hair? Or was the Joker or something? Where's that guy today? Anybody know? Anybody know? You heard anything? Might have heard a blurb here and there. You never hear about them again. They're either killed on the scene, off themselves, or if it by the strange chance they do get arrested, it just goes away. Did they go to court? They must have, right? Yeah. They got to be in prison somewhere. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yep. Positive. Yep. Huh. Well, that might be a little conspiracy theory, but maybe not. Who knows? Things that make you go, think about it. Just think about it. That's what I'm trying to do, guys, is make you think. I'm making you think. Because it's just, we don't think. That's the problem. You want to be the ostrich. You want to stick your head in the sand and go, la, 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 la. I got my 80-inch big screen and my game system, and I got a car, and I can have a pizza here, a sub sandwich in 3 minutes, and I'm happy. 12-pack of beer on the weekends and a little thing to putt around the lake, and everything's good. Wife, 1.5 kids, a dog, and a goldfish. And I can keep my wood-stocked shotgun. Go shoot me a couple pheasants this weekend. Life is good. Yep. It's good, all right. Well, I hope I didn't bore you too much. I hope you don't come out of here thinking, man, you lost it. Because I haven't. I'm just fine, guys. I just want you guys to think. I want you to get involved. I want you to, it's never too late. Changes can be made. Things can happen. Elections happen. You can pull yourself out of these things. But it takes everyone outside of that class to make those changes, right? Used to be, what'd your mother tell you growing up? You can be president, right? No, you can't. At least under today's system, you can't, right? Not unless somehow you're politically connected, or maybe you start to be politically connected and your parents know the right people, and you go to the right schools and you get the right degree, law degree usually. And you date the right people and marry the right people and run for the right positions, whether that's politically or a job in the right company, right? Yeah, Ma lied to you. She did. She did. You might be bright enough. As a matter of fact, I'm positive if you're watching this, you're bright enough. You're bright enough to do it. It's just the other circumstances you might be lacking. But it should be that way, right? It should be. Like back in the day, a man can say, I don't like what's going on. I think I've got a better idea, and I understand the people in my community and the people I interact with on a daily basis. And I think I can reiterate and expound on those ideas, and through my speaking and my ability to get my point across, I can go to the state capital or the government, the capital of this country, and make a difference. And they'd run and they'd do what they did. But today you need millions and millions and millions of dollars to do it, and people to back you and all of that. But you don't need that in a local government. And that's where it starts, because people move up in government, right? And if enough of the right-minded people do that, you make the change. And that's what the left has been doing all along. What's her name? OC, broad from New York. Everyone said, what, before all this, she was just a lowly college student bartender, right? Isn't that what they said? Why don't you look it up? She wasn't a lowly bartender. She comes from a family that had those connections and was form-fitted for what she's doing. They'd been grooming that for years. Groom yourselves. Go run for school board. Go run for councilman. Go do something. Go to town meetings and speak up. And when you speak up, be informed on the position. Speak well, speak clearly, make sense. Involve the other people in the audience in what you're saying and what you want to do. And before you know it, somebody will approach you, or you'll meet this or talk to this, and you'll be able to run. A lot of these positions, guys, they go, nobody contests them. Depending on the town you live in, it's who shows up. Sometimes they can barely fill them. Well, go fill them. If you got to run. It's grassroots. Make some posters, put them up, get them printed. Get a business to back you. You know, you got a friend that owns a business and says, man, I wish they would do this. I can't believe they're doing that. Well, I can help you stop that. Hey, start a campaign fund. Throw a little money in. Go to the next business. Hey, I'm Joe. I'm running for yada, yada. And notice you got a business here. I bet you don't like that new whatever. Or you're in the cul-de-sac having a beer with the guys. Man, I heard about what they're doing at the school. I really don't care for that. Well, I was thinking about doing something about that. But, there's an election. I need some signs, this and that. Hey, you own a sign shop. Maybe we could do something, huh? Everybody kick in a little and we make a difference here. It's that easy, guys. Grow some balls. Grow a set. Would you? Go do something. Do something. If not you, spread the word. Tell somebody what I told you tonight. See if you can find some. Maybe you truly don't have the time. I get it, guys. I get it. But man, you got to find the time. Something. I'm moving away from, contacting senators, representatives. They don't give a rat's ass. It's just like the shootings. Oh, thoughts and prayers. It all goes, they don't care. They don't care in the least bit about one single one of those children. Not one. They're looking into what the police did. They changed the narrative, right? They change it over to who to blame. Not what went wrong, why it went wrong, how they could have stopped it, how their lack of anything may have led to it. But they shift the blame to the police force. Maybe that guy did make a mistake. People make mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes cost lives. But they jump on that bandwagon and flip over to that why, takes it off them, puts on. They don't care. They don't care what happens to your child, what happens to my son, they don't care. They really, truly don't. Maybe at some base level, sure. I'm sure they feel bad a child died, but they don't care. It's on with other things. That's just, they use the event. They use it for their own gain. It's all they care about. And that goes for just about every single one of them. It's too intertwined. Do what I told you guys. We're 2.5 hours into this. I just had, and haven't been doing a lot of videos and stuff because I'm busy with family stuff and helping my wife. We're changing everything in our house and this and that and doing a lot of projects. Because she deserves it. And it's like I told you, it's not getting any cheaper. I might as well do it now. So it's taken away from this. But hey, at the end of the day, family, friends come first, right? And helping my parents. And there's just, with all that's went on in our family and my life, it's everybody's needed a hand. They really have. And there's one less person to lean on to help. And so there's more on me, and I got to step up to the plate and do what I got to do. So that's what I've been doing. And I'm sorry it comes at the expense of you guys not seeing some of my content. And for that, I apologize, because you guys truly do mean a lot to me. I put a lot of work into this over the last couple of years. I told my wife, I said, my God, I haven't put out a video. It's falling apart. All this hard work is going to go down the drain. I'm not going to let it go down the drain. It's just when you got to do stuff, you got to do it. And I'm trying to fit it in. And it's kind of bad timing. Father's Day is coming up. My son's birthday is coming up. The first year anniversary of his passing is coming up. 4th of July is never going to be the same because it happened that weekend, which is next weekend. So it's this last 30 days has been rough. And the pressure hits me, eventually it hits everybody. But luckily, I think my wife's doing a lot better and all of that. So it's taking a toll here. And I feel bad for you guys because you're not getting to see the stuff you guys tune in. I can't believe it amazes me that these people right here, especially the regulars, tune in to listen to me babble. I can't believe I'm that entertaining to somebody. Or maybe you all bake popcorn and get all your friends around and go, watch this idiot tonight. What's he going to do tonight? I don't know. But I find it amazing that almost 7,000 people have found me either educational or entertaining or ugly enough to watch every week for hundreds and thousands of hours. I look at the statistics and I'm shocked. I'm absolutely, I'm humbled by it. I really am. It's crazy. But you guys mean a lot to me. You do. Because it's the word I'm looking for. It's humbling, and I feel blessed that maybe that it's some talent I don't know I have, or whatever the case may be. But I also am so grateful that you guys listen, and hopefully take what I have to say and employ some little piece of it in your lives and with the people you know, and pass it on, because I can't be the only one. It's got to travel. It's got to work. It's got to come up in conversations, dinner conversation. That's how we make a change, guys. Please, I tell you in every video at the end, I say, don't be afraid to speak out, because they're not. So make sure you do. Correct them. Educate them. Don't yell, don't scream. That never gets anywhere. If they say something about Constitution or Second Amendment or firearms or anything regarding the stories, the statistics, the this and that, be ready to tell them the truth. Tell them why. Tell them why it's wrong. Show them. Back it up with facts. Have a couple articles saved by reputable sources as to why what they just said. Tell them you understand why you can understand why they think that or why they believe that, but here in reality, here's what it is. It's easy. Tell them you can be like, hey, I used to think that too, until let me show you this. It's really interesting. Changed my mind completely. Whatever. That's how you got to approach it. And some you'll never get across to. Those people are already hardcore done. But anybody with half a brain, when told the truth, and there's so much misinformation out there. It's the truth information of the rock. That's what we're spreading here, right? I'm going to check the comments here real quick, because you guys are like, oh, God, shut up already. But check the comments, and then we'll let you guys go. Joe's going to have most of his life and liberty stuff sorted. I wish I would have not had recession earnest after I got out of high school. It's coming again, Joe. Careful, my man. Just make sure you got no debt. If you got no debt, you're ahead of the game. You don't have to crawl out of that hole. You just got to keep status quo till things get better. I swapped the gas block on my ZPAP M70 with an M70 B1 grenade sight. That's a great swap, man. That's an awesome swap, easy to do. Misha's got a video on that on Martinko's channel, where he took his was it an OPAP? I think an OPAP, and he switched it out. You can find those grenade launching sites and do it, make it look like the real deal. And it's an easy one to do. That's a great way to put that gun back in its military form. And you just got to know that ZPAPs, NPAPs, none of them came with the bayonet lugs either, right? So when you do that, you gain the bayonet lug too. So you put it back to that form. They've probably gone up in value. Those the gas block, sight block, because of the ZPAP and how many are out there. But they're still obtainable. They're still out there, and they're still affordable. And it's a good, easy swap. So yeah, that's cool. Joe, trust me, I know it, buddy. We've all been there at some point. You're a young man. You'll be all right. Keep working it. Keep doing what you're doing. It works out. Just always try to better yourself every day, one way or another. Learn a skill or some information or better yourself in some way, whether that's reading something, watching something, maybe taking a class, maybe venturing out and say, you know what, really like a career in this, and maybe I'm gonna get this part-time, whatever you can do, whatever you have the time for, whatever you can fit in. Make sure it's one little thing moving you forward, bettering yourself, making yourself more marketable every day. Pick something. You'll be amazed how quick it had. And one day you go, God, how did I end up here? And you'll think back, and it's because of your hard work. But you can't sit there and tread water. You can't. Got to be moving forward. Got to be doing a stroke of some kind, backstroke, the crawl, the breaststroke, something to move forward. That treading water, can only do it for so long. Got to be moving towards shore. I had to eat once a day for 7 months to buy a set. See? You did something about it though, right? I eat one big meal a day, not because I have to, but that's what I do too. I may have a small something in the morning. I used to eat all day long. That's just how my body worked. Now, one good meal a day and I'm good. I'm done. Lost some weight too. I feel better. It's just how my body works too. Let's see. You're right, Joe. Inflation is like 40%. It is when you add it all in. Enjoyed it, Rock. Gotta go early. I gotta head out. Early teaching every nowadays. Great one, Chase. Save the bees. Hey, Rock, I left a comment on your last video about my snake in the grass senator from Missouri. I emailed his office but never got a reply. I saw that. I read it. I did. Plandemic is the correct term. You got it, my man. PSA AR kits going for under $400. Guys, I promise you, one day a PSA kit will be just fine. Bye. What do you think of this CSA VZ58? Love it. I want one. They're awesome. Check small arms. That's a great gun. I should have bought them when they were everywhere, and now they're not. I want to have one. The beaver bark all the way. There's an old lady in town that would red flag everyone in a 10-mile radius. I do what I do every week, Rock. I know you do, buddy. Good man, that Joe. Yes, he is. Repping Cincinnati. Good to have you, Trinidad. I think New York banned bulletproof vests. They did. I don't think anyone killed anybody with a vest. No. So why do they want to ban it? Oh, because criminals may wear them when committing crimes and police can't stop them. Well, you don't have police stop them anyway, so what's the big deal? Nope, that's not the reason. The reason is they're afraid of you having weapons of war and a way to protect yourself. Because they're pretty sure you're not going to like what they're going to do to you. That's what it comes down to. First step to brainwashing, normalize issues. Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember Art Bell talking about the New World Order 20 years ago. People scoffed. Remember? And then they talk about the Bilderberg meetings and everyone went, oh, that bullshit. Well, yeah, it's there. It happens every year. It's all part of it, guys. It's there. The bullshit the media spews is beyond anything we could even imagine. You're right. Joe, you have the gift to gab. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bore you guys. Joe, you got a lot of ways you can help. You can. Hey, today you can be at home. and do it. There's no problem. I'm sure you can get out for a little bit here and there if it was for a town meeting or something. There's services free of charge. You can find them. Work a little harder at it. You'll find something. If you just remember, you can figure it out. You figured out the AR, right, Joe? You'll figure that out too. Put your mind to it. Make a decision what you want to do or work toward, and see what you can do to get there. Why is my camera all blurry all of a sudden? You guys notice that? Why am I all blurry? It's focusing up here instead of back here. Strange. I don't know why. Well spoken, Chris, hitting the nail on the head. Like I said, you guys are smart. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Some of you may think, well, I don't know, it's out. It's not. I promise you. Arm the Taliban. Yeah, but try to disarm us. Isn't it amazing that they're concerned about foreign countries' borders, but not our own? Ask yourself why. Keeps them in office, guys. It's also, I guarantee you, I've been putting a lot of thought into this. It's also part of the UN agenda too, is moving populations from there here. And where are they going? They're putting them all over. They're busting them every night. They show up in the morning, ba-ding, there they are, with cash cards in their hand that they hand them at the border. That's not bullshit. Yep. Ask yourself why. Why aren't they stopping it? It's truly an invasion. It's just a planned invasion. Obviously, your family comes first, as it should. Yeah. Good job tonight. Oh, thank you. Forget you were on tonight after nothing last week. I figured you were on a break. Yeah, I don't know if you just got here, Tommy. The brace is on the way. I got the order confirmation. It's inbound, but I did not, as of earlier today, I didn't get a notice that it shipped. Coming from HK Parts, so I've never dealt with them before. We'll see. So it's probably in my email now. Hopefully it's here in a day or two, because I'm excited to get that going. And then we got to get the HK optic mount. Got to find one of those in stock and then decide what optic. But at least with the brace now, it's usable because it was no fun before. My way of beating this is to change the younger people's minds. Yep. It's not to change their mind. It's just to inform them with the truth and get them interested. Tommy, I was just about to sign off, but yeah, I took a break last week because I just got, it's spring here up north, so everything happens like 7 weeks later than spring happens down south. A lot of things going on. I was putting the boats in the water, ended up getting a new boat, and now that took a week of my life, and had our hardwood floors redone. I'm living in utter chaos because everything from the first floor is jammed into the others, and we all lived in the basement with the dogs, and it went through a weekend because they couldn't show up one day, so 5 days to redo it. Not being able to get to your clothes and your washing machine and even your microwave and yada, yada. And we're just now getting stuff put back on the first floor. And that ruined an entire week. And it just, so much going on. And coming up on a year of my son's thing. And that happened 4th of July weekend. And his birthday is a couple of days after that. And we're having a little memorial thing for him, a little get together with his friends and everything. That'll be fun. And Father's Day was a kind of a mess for me, but so it's just been a screwed up month. I was telling the guys I haven't put a video out other than one in like 2 months, and I was telling my wife tonight. It's just I've been flat out neglecting it, and all the work I put into this. It ain't easy to get even the 7,000 subscribers I have. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of time, and a shitload of money. And I'm not going to let it all go down in flames. So we're going to keep it going. It's just getting caught up here. And once spring and summer hit, I don't realize how much I missed my son's help. And so it takes so much of my time. And frankly, I haven't been spending the money on stuff, so I got nothing to bring you, it feels like, although I do. There's a lot of things. I just, the creative juices haven't been flowing, so to speak. So, gotta get it. And I've been spending so much time reloading. I just reload is repetitious, takes my mind off a lot of things, and it's like therapy, but it doesn't get me anywhere other than stockpiling a shitload of shooting ammo. But I can't believe how many rounds I've loaded of 5.56. You have no idea. I really got to get some more 5.56 or get this 5.56 AK up and all done up. I wanted to leave it like it was, but I got to do it up because, God, I can just shoot it so much now. So, nice haircut. Who got a haircut? Me? That, sir, is where you're wrong. This is the same haircut before I left Mexico, or left for Mexico. And I actually have a haircut tomorrow. This is like 8 weeks, man. I actually got like, I don't know, a part and a thing going on and all kinds of shit. But and my beard's super long. It's like my mustache is curling in my mouth. And that's how busy I've been. But look at the color. This new boat has done some good for the color, hasn't it? I'm going to be that tan old guy on the boat. I just got to get a rope chain and a big propeller or an anchor. What do you guys think? Propeller or anchor? You always see the old dude on the boat. This is a running joke. They're southern Wisconsin. It's a place called the Chain of Lakes. And it's where every hill rod goes out to run their boat on the weekend and get drunk and all that crap. And you'll always see the old 50-something, 60-something guy with, I used to say back then the $500,000 boat, but now that's like a million, 1.5 or so. But the big boat, the loud one with the silent choice exhaust. And he'll be in a channel, a quiet channel with Holmes with the open exhaust. And he's tan, like unbelievably tan, like leather. Beard gut out to here. He's got 3 20-something girls with lots of silicone up front in tiny bikinis. He's got some music going, and he's always has a rope chain with either a propeller pendant or the anchor pendant. Always. That's the dead giveaway. And I always wanted to figure out, are those rent-a-girls on the front? Is he renting them? Or are they just in it for the money? And is he actually getting a piece? That's what I want to know. It's hilarious, though. There are a dime a dozen out there, and they all look the same. It's hilarious. Although some are okay with their baldness. Others are wearing bad toupees, even though they obviously have a lot of money, or they just financed a big boat, one of the two. But somehow they're getting those 25-year-old chickies on the front, with more silicone than a WD-40 factory. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I wouldn't mind being that guy, just without the beer belly, I guess, and couldn't do the pendant. And I don't need a toupee. So I guess I'm good. I don't know. Hilarious. But yeah, I'm getting a tan, so maybe I want to start looking at rope chains. I don't know. He's probably using bait. Yeah. He's got a little booger sugar in the glove box and, whatever. I don't know. Amazing. Yeah. He's paying them, I'm sure, because there's nothing to see in them. Guarantee you that. Funny. Too damn funny. UN is not our friends. No. There's no reason we should even belong to it. We pay for the whole goddamn thing. Look at that complex in New York. What do you think it costs? And the money of all these people flying in and back and forth, and what bullshit they do. They do nothing. They do nothing. We need out of that. It should be stopped immediately. It's just like this Paris Climate Accord we jump back in, and all these NGO non-governmental agencies, they need to go. Every one of them. You know, how many does Fauci belong to? How many is he paid by? I mean, it's ridiculous. Listening to my music collection on my phone, right, through my car stereo today, like I do all the time. And I wanted another song, so I found it. I hit it, added to library, which I guess means I buy it from iTunes or whatever. But then I'm in iTunes and it's playing random music it thinks I'll like by my selections or whatever. And Queensryche came up. And it's a song off, I think it's a new album. It may be a Herald, but it's got to be pretty damn new. It's called Revolution or something. And they talk about Dr. Fauci in it. They talk about the lying news media. They talk about the whole 9 yards, and that it's time for a revolution or something, or revolution is calling or something like that. If you get a chance, check it out and listen. You can pull up the lyrics on it and read the lyrics. It's, I guess they're conservative, right-leaning, which surprises me. But yeah, interesting and a good song. So I listened to it because I liked the music first, and then I heard a couple parts that, you can't put together the lyrics in some of these heavy metal songs that quick. So I pulled up the lyrics and I'm like, okay. I guess there is somebody in music that's on the right, not the left. But it was interesting. Yeah. Yeah, some of these laws coming up, guys, it's important. Most aren't going to pass, but one is too many. We got to get to November, and we got to make sure these elections are legit. They've forgotten too much about them, and I don't think enough's been done. You'll never convince me that everything was on the up and up there. There was way too much bullshit going on. Not in a million years. And that's not saying it because of Trump or anybody. I'm just saying none of it made sense. Never seen an election stop mid-stream at 2 a.m. We're stopping everything now. Take a little break. Yeah, no. No, I don't believe it. Don't believe it, not for a minute. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight. It was a little different. I'm glad I could tell you about the gun show. That was a good find I had. There was some deals to be had if you knew what you were looking for. Most of the deals I saw were in like surplus parts, hard to find, some pre-band stuff, and some obscure magazines and stuff like that. I found good prices on reloading components and availability, and picked up a new source there. There was some good, decent stuff there. I told you I saw those new Colt Pythons and stuff. Those were nice. I saw that was a good deal on that Browning high power. A few other things. There's some good stuff. It was a decent show for as small as it is. It takes up about the size of a high school gymnasium. That's about it. But it was a good show and fun, and not the bullshit jerky and all that. So enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show, and we will be back. I'm not promising you guys anything. I'm just going to do it. So waiting on this brace and getting to the range tomorrow. Don't know what we're going to do at the range. Got any ideas? Toss them up there, either now or in the comments after it's over. And maybe something will sound like fun, and I'll do it. Anyhow, thanks for everything, guys. Thanks for everything you do. we certainly appreciate you. I told you, I started to tell you I want to finish that I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out here and listening to me babble every week. Hope you get something out of it, and I hope you spread the word, make your voices heard. Love you guys. Have a great week. Remember, you can change things. You have to get involved and get involved locally. Thanks for showing up, Tommy. We'll talk to you this week. And don't worry, I read your emails and all that. Just been weird couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever. I don't know. But we're getting there. Anyhow, as always, Rockford Ordnance out. Take care, guys.